She was supposed to be home at 7. Mhm.
Madam Deputy Clerk, the time is now 7:01. It is now 7:01, and I'd like to call the regular Township Council meeting to order. Roll call. Councilwoman Perone,
Present.
Councilman Anderson,
Present.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Present.
and Mayor Whitfield.
Present.
At this time, I'd like to invite Willenboro Chaplain Zamari Cruz to lead us in tonight's prayer. Good evening.
Good evening, Madam. Let us bow our heads as we start a prayer. Father God, we thank you. Most Holy Father, great and mighty you are. I thank you this evening for the chosen city council that you have chosen here tonight. Thank you for your presence here this evening. I ask you that you control the course of this meeting here tonight, that you keep this meeting and that you give your people that you have selected the wisdom and the knowledge and the insight to lead us, to guide us, and they stand in the gap for the families here in Willenboro. May they be able to work in peace, in unity, and excellence. May they have your clarity, integrity, and your spirit of love as they work together as one body for our community. May they discuss agendas, ideas, and strategies. Give them the godliest strategies to benefit everyone in the community. Remain in this place with your people. I ask you these things. In your holy name, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. May we please rise for the flag salute?
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Notice was provided in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 to the Burlington County Times, Trenton Times, and Philadelphia Inquirer, stating the date, time, place, and the agenda to the extent it was known. Additionally, notice was filed in the office of the Township Clerk. Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, Mr. Harris, do we have any presentations this evening? Okay. All right, and we do have a proclamation for Lupus Awareness Month. Oh, right here. And that'll be read by Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Proclamation declaring May as Lupus Awareness Month.
Whereas lupus is a chronic, unpredictable, and often misunderstood autoimmune disease that can cause serious damage to virtually any organ or tissue in the body, potentially leading to severe complications or death. And whereas more than 5 million individuals worldwide are affected by the devastating impact of this cruel and mysterious disease, with over 100,000 new diagnoses made each year, predominantly among women of childbearing age, though men and children are also affected. And whereas despite the severity and widespread nature of lupus, research into its causes and treatments remains significantly underfunded compared to other diseases of similar magnitude and impact. And whereas many healthcare providers lack sufficient awareness of the symptoms and long-term effects of lupus, often resulting in delayed or inaccurate diagnoses and inadequate treatment for those living with the disease. And whereas there exists a critical and urgent need to support individuals and families impacted by lupus through education, advocacy, and access to comprehensive medical care. And whereas increased awareness of lupus in our community and across the nation and world is essential to improving early diagnosis, treatment, and quality of life for those affected. And whereas the color purple is recognized as the official color for lupus awareness, and individuals are encouraged to wear purple during the month of May to show support for those affected and to help spread awareness. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Mayor Samantha E. Whitfield of the Township of Willingboro, on behalf of the governing body and all residents, do hereby proclaim the month of May as Lupus Awareness Month in the Township of Willingboro, and urge all citizens to join in this observance by educating themselves about lupus, supporting those living with the disease, and advocating for greater research funding and public awareness.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Worthy. All right, and before we begin tonight's meeting, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the concerns and emotions that have been raised in response to comments made during recent council meetings. Tonight is also Cinco de Mayo, a day that for many is a celebration of Mexican culture, heritage, and resilience. It is especially important that we recognize the value of contributions of our Hispanic and Latino neighbors, residents, workers, and business owners who help our community grow stronger. I understand that many people were hurt and disappointed by the remarks that were made and what followed afterward. I want to be clear that those comments do not reflect the values of Willingboro Township or the views of council as a whole. In Willingboro, we believe in treating all people with dignity and respect. We will not always agree, but we also must hold ourselves to a standard of leadership that reflects our diverse community that we serve here in Willingboro. My hope is that we move forward with a greater understanding, accountability, and a commitment to bringing people together rather than dividing them. And at this time, we will now go to Mr. Harris for our manager's municipal updates.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. After some consideration and discussion with the Mayor and Deputy Mayor and my department directors, we're going to make a little adjustment in the way information is presented to you, in that I invited my directors to come and stand before you and give you more in-depth reports about what is going on in their departments, and give you the opportunity to ask them any specific questions that you may have, instead of me giving you brief synopsis of what's happening. So we're going to begin there this evening, if that's okay, with Mrs. Diggs from our finance department. Mrs. Diggs?
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Council, residents of Willingboro. Good evening. My name is Eusebia Diggs. I'm the Chief Financial Officer and Director of Finance for Willingboro Township. My report this evening provides an overview of the municipality's financial activities, including income and expenses for the month of April, and also an overview of all our finances remain stable, and we continue to meet our obligations, monitor spending closely, build reserves in alignment with our budget and goals. So I'm going to give you a brief summary of our revenue intake for the month of April. we recorded a total revenue of $2,546,479.54. And 93% of this revenue intake was actually tax revenue. The other 7% came from other sources such as licensing fees, UCC fees, interest on deposit and taxes, and court fees. Our grants revenue year to date received $216,577.46. $199,509.85 came from our New Jersey Department of Transportation 2023 Buckingham Drive Road Project. $17,067.61 came from our Body Armor Federal and State grant. And also I want to report that we were reimbursed from the county on our snow reserve an amount of $40,662. Now we'll go to our appropriations, the spending for the month of April. A total of $9,188,240.53 was expended in the month of April. These expenditures were largely driven by the statutory expenses such as our PERS and the BFRS and the township's debt service. And these expenses equate to 66% of the total amount expended for the month. A breakdown on the expenditure appropriations: salary and wages, $1,740,654.13. Healthcare coverage, $514,627.16. Our statutory expense, which includes the payroll taxes, $129,974.77. The pension contributions, PERS, that's $7,106. Our PFRS contribution as Police Fire Retirement System was $3,461,461,463. A total contribution of $4,668,569. Other expenses from various departments, day-to-day operational expenses were $883, $415.47. Principal and interest paid on our 2015 general improvement bond was $1,251,000. We wire our monthly contribution to the Willingboro Board of Education in the amount of $3,339,143.67. I will give you a little breakdown on our grant expenditures so far in the year 2026. Our recycling tonnage grant, we have expended $16,117.01. Drunk driving enforcement grant, $22,822.50. Clean community program, $31,845.84. The New Jersey Department of Transportation 2023 Buckingham Drive Road Improvement, $6,071.75. Our 2025 Bernardino County Municipal Park Grant, Crystal Lake, $98,339.80. Our Willingboro Community Center Grant, $827,457.98. Our 2024 New Jersey Department of Transportation resurfacing of Marshall Lane, $39. Our opioid grant, $2,036.38. Our Mill Creek Park Inclusive Playground, $880. Mill Creek Park Pickleball Court, $7,002.50. Get Out and Get Active grant, $2,276.42. Our New Jersey Department of Transportation Municipal Aid Grant, Eastgate Lane, $188, $461.86. We'll go to our staff updates. For the finance department, of course. The purchasing agent attended the 56th Rutgers Public Purchasing Education Forum from April 28 to the 29th, 2026 at Resort Atlantic City. This was a great opportunity to meet and greet with Rutgers and New Jersey Purchasing Association, as well as network with other purchasing officials across the state of New Jersey. The information covered during this forum included AI and ethics, navigating responsibility in a digital age, bridging the gap, strengthening collaboration between purchasing, finance, and the governing body, and new information related to the DLGS guidance and legislative update. One employee in the tax office continues to receive training and attend classes to earn a certificate as a certified tax collector. Finally, just a reminder, the second quarter taxes are currently due. Please pay your taxes between May 1st and the 10th to avoid interest payment. Taxes can be paid online, in person, and there are 3 drop boxes located by the security desks, one next to the finance window, and the third one by the police desk located downstairs in this building. I thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dix.
Oh,
Any questions for Ms. Dix? All right, seeing none. Thank you.
thank you.
Next, we're going to hear from Ms. Tanya Jackson, who is the Director of our Communications.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, members of council, and all those assembled. On behalf of the Office of Public Information, where we try to keep our residents informed about activities, updates, and occurrences in our township, please be advised of the following. The renovations at the track at the Kennedy Center are now complete, and the track is now open. So we do thank our residents for patience in that process. On Monday, June 1st, we will transition to a new trash collection service with Interstate Waste Services. As noted, most of the collections will remain the same. The few changes include that all Tuesday collections will move to Wednesday. There will no longer be any trash collections on Tuesdays. Garfield East will move to Fridays. All others will remain the same. The other biggest change is that bulk collection would occur the same day as your trash collection day, and up to 5 bulk items will be picked up. Second carts will be available on a first-come, first-served basis, and we anticipate that an ordinance regarding those fees will be addressed this evening. Per the approval of the ordinance, we will prepare a mailer for the printer this week. All residents will receive a mailer regarding the transition to Interstate Waste Services within the next couple weeks. We also have flyers on the back table for those who are interested. We will make sure this information is also available for those who attend the Neighborhood Watch meeting and available at the Kennedy Center, the Senior Center, and the library. Additionally, a letter will be sent to all residents who are currently on the waiting list for a second cart. Those residents will be extended an opportunity to purchase a second cart prior to it being offered and extended to the general public. We will also be sending, so that's the trash collection service. We will also be sending out a mailer postcard over the next couple of weeks to our residents related to our events coming up this summer and early fall. Additionally, the Communications Department is working with the Recreation Department and Township Clerk's Office to prepare for our website transition to Civic Plus. We anticipate this transition will occur in August timeframe, but we will definitely keep you updated. Regarding our upcoming events, we are just a few days away from this year's rescheduled Spring Clean Communities Cleanup event. We do apologize to those who missed the rescheduled date due to anticipated heavy rain forecasts during the last Saturday in May. The rescheduled date will occur on this Saturday, May 9th, beginning at 9:30 at the Kennedy Center. And of course, we encourage everyone to come out and join us. And then also on Saturday, the rec department will be at Rita's Water Ice from noon until 3. And we encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity to register for summer programs, grab a hot dog or burger, and enjoy Rita's Water Ice. We do want to make sure you're aware that applications for our Youth Fire Academy and Youth Police Academy are now available, and they're available on our website. Of course, these are great opportunities for our young people, and they are free opportunities, so we want to encourage participation in that. Our registration for Camp Fun and Sun is now open. Those camp dates are July 6th through August 21st, and we do encourage participation in that. In addition to Lupus Awareness Month, this is also Mental Health Awareness Month. So we do encourage you to check out our website for a host of activities that are hosted by our Recreation Department. They have a host of activities and programs kicking off this month. So there's something for everyone. We also want to make you aware, bless you, that our Memorial Day observance will occur on Monday, May 25th at Mill Creek Park. Retired Command Sergeant Major Dr. Maurice Mims will be this year's keynote speaker, and that observance will be again at 11 a.m. The Country Club pool will open on Memorial Day weekend, Saturday, May 23rd, and will be open on weekends only from noon until 5 until June 28th, when it will open daily. As a reminder, free swim passes will be extended on Fridays during the summer for our Willowboro residents, pre-K3 through 12th grade. On Friday, May 29th, we will host the second annual Mayor's Golf Classic Tournament in collaboration with the New Foundation. I believe more information will be shared later in the agenda. Our Friday Night Live series will kick off 1 month from today and will feature the Renaissance Band. This year, we'll be hosting performances every Friday until August 21st, weather permitting and excluding the holiday weekends. And we are collaborating with Househeads United this year, who will be hosting several Friday evening sessions as well. Our Juneteenth celebration will be held on Friday, June 19th from 3 p.m. to 7 at Mill Creek Park. Vendor applications and sponsorship opportunities are now available. Again, more information regarding our live music series, Summon in Motion Block series, the Jazz Festival, and more will be are coming up this summer. So we're excited to share more information as we get closer to those dates. More information regarding the grand opening of our Performance Arts Center will be shared soon, and we hope to have a full schedule starting this fall. Information and updates will be forthcoming as we begin to transition from WillingboroRec.com to a new platform, Civic Rec, and this will align with our township's new website, which will be powered by Civic Plus. And we just want to encourage you to stay informed, stay up to date regarding all of our many resources. And I do have a poster in the back with QR codes so people can sign up for our weekly download our app and just stay connected. That concludes my report, and of course, I'll entertain any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Any questions? Councilman
As
Anderson.
it relates to the red tops.
Yes.
Last meeting, I asked, if you have a current red top, is there an additional fee that's going to be assessed with dumping? Because I know the new red tops, they will be assessing a fee. So I just want to clarify, because I'm hearing there will be a fee, then I'm hearing there won't be a fee. Can I get a definitive answer?
I believe according to the ordinance that will be hopefully approved tonight, there will be a $145 collection fee for all those,
For all red tops?
for everyone who owns a red top.
Okay, thank you
Yes.
for clarification.
Absolutely. Any other questions? All right, yes.
Councilwoman Pearl.
Thank you. I'm super excited about the pool passes. So thank you, council, for supporting that initiative and giving back to the community in the way that we're doing now. So I just want to have a question regarding the pool tags. I know you said that they're going out. How are you reaching the students? How are they getting the tags?
I am going to defer to the Director of Recreation, which I'm not
I
sure.
don't see him here.
He's here, but we will make sure we communicate that information and get that out. I believe that they do have a relationship with the school district, and they plan to disseminate that information, but I will definitely verify that.
Okay,
Okay?
that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Councilwoman Pearl, it's my understanding that they won't have a physical tag. They will have to register so
the
that they
app, the
can
new
check
app.
in. Yeah, so that they can check in when they get to the pool.
Mhm.
But all students, if they have proof of residency, will just be able to participate in the aquatics program.
Okay, right. And I do remember Mr. Laurie mentioning the new app is going to be transitioning over, but I wasn't sure how then you mentioned tags this evening, so I thought it was
Right.
now a physical tag, but I wasn't sure how that information was going to be conveyed to the schools or to the students.
Mhm.
So maybe it's a takeaway for Mr. Laurie when he's available.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Will do. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. And Ms. Jackson did mention the transition with the trash services happening on June 1st. It has been brought to my attention that we have been having collection problems sporadically throughout the municipality. It has been a day or a section of town, and I did send a pretty stern letter to Republic reminding them that they are still under contract with the township, and we still expect full service from now until our contract is due. And if there are any future problems, then we will consider doing appropriate fines, penalties. And I did instruct our finance director to hold off in sending them any future payments between now and the end of this month, just to ensure that we do not have any service boycotts because they were the losers of the bid.
And Mr. Harris, in line with that, I just want to remind residents that we do have a penalty structure within our contract with Republic. So if your trash is not collected, that's money that we can receive back or not have to pay to Republic for those missed collections. So please make sure you either email the clerk's office or the manager's office, send a note on the app so that we know whose trash wasn't collected so that we can make sure that we assess the appropriate fines.
Yes, yes, that's fine. Thank you. Next on the list would be Chief Burnett from the Willingboro Fire Department.
Good evening, Chief.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Council, and public. I'm here to report some information about the Fire and EMS Department. First, I want to report that Captain Matt Farrell will be, or who has retired as of May 1st. He has dedicated over 32 years of combined full-time and volunteer service to the Willingboro Fire Department and Township. The department will hold a retirement ceremony for him on this Friday, May 8th at 1 p.m. at the fire headquarters located at 398 Charleston Road. With some other items going on, we have a promotion to announce. Congratulations go out to Lieutenant James Radarowski, who's being promoted to fire captain as of Friday, May 8th. Captain Radarowski brings many years of experience to the table, and we feel confident that he will be a great asset in his new role. Some new hires. On the fire side, the department has hired 2 new full-time firefighters off the civil service list. Kyle McDonough and Joseph Feliciano will join our ranks as of Friday, May 8th, 2026. Both of these new hires are certified firefighters through the New Jersey State Division of Fire Safety. We will hold an official promotion and new hire ceremony within the next month or so for all the new hires that have occurred over the past 6 months. We're just waiting for some full dress uniforms to come in to make them look presentable when they had that ceremony. Citizen Fire Academy, that has started. It started on April 22nd. We have 11 adults in the class. Over the next 8 Wednesdays, they meet on Wednesday nights from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. They will go over, they will learn the department history. They will go over what type of gear and actually put the gear on that the firefighters utilize. They will also put on the SCBAs and see how to wear SCBAs properly. They will also earn a 2-year CPR certification, and they also will get a chance to cut up a vehicle utilizing vehicle extrication tools, as you guys know probably as jaws of life. So they get a chance to feel the weight of those tools and see what firefighters actually do on a daily basis. The graduation for the Citizen Fire Academy will occur on Wednesday, June 10th at 6:30 p.m., and that'll be held at the fire headquarters. I'm going to re-announce what Ms. Jackson said about the Youth Fire Academy. The Youth Fire Academy application process went online on April 13th. Application filing is open until Friday, June 12th. We are seeking students ages 13 to 17 who are interested in a career in the fire service to participate in the Youth Fire Academy. This 10-day, Monday to Friday, 2 weeks, Fire Academy style training program is designed to expose youth to many different aspects that can be found in the fire service community. While at the academy, students will participate in a variety of activities that actual fire recruits participate in as part of their training. Some highlights of the academy will include fire behavior, firefighting tactics. They will also earn a CPR certification, physical training, teamwork, and leadership skills. The class starts on July 6th through the 17th from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. The class is limited to 25 students, so get your applications in as soon as possible. You can download the application on the township website under public safety section or on the fire department website. The fire department also has 4 volunteers, firefighters firefighters that are attending the Spring Semester Academy in West Hampton, New Jersey. This academy is held on every Sunday from 7:45 a.m. to 4 p.m. for approximately 6 months. They will go over, overall, they'll have course curriculum comes out to about 250 hours of training. The cadets who are training in the program are, and they're all right from Willingboro, Trayvon Cox, Nipis Jabison, Sebastian Tavares, and Raymond Hall. Raymond Hall actually went through our Youth Fire Academy over the years, and now he's becoming a certified firefighter. So that's great. The training course will be completed next month in June. And once they have passed the New Jersey Division of Fire Safety exam, we should have 4 new certified volunteer firefighters in the township. So that'd be great. On the EMS side, EMS, we had some new hires. The department has hired 2 new full-time EMTs. Peter Serena and Jada McBride joined our ranks back in April. Both full-time EMTs backfill some positions that were vacated by full-time employees. Also, the department has hired some new per diem EMT staff, Chinmay Narayan, Taylor Latinen, Devin Arison, and Patrick Harvey. So they joined our ranks within the last several months. And hopefully, but they're on the per diem side. So they're available when we ask them to come in to backfill some spots. EMS response. Let's go over this real quick. The EMS department runs approximately 5,000 calls for service a year. Willingboro Township is a very busy department when it comes down to medical emergencies. Almost daily, Willingboro EMS receives back-to-back incidents that we are dispatched to within the community. A lot of times we receive 3 to 4 calls within 10 minutes in a 10-minute period. And that's constant throughout the daytime. The department can't answer all the calls within the time frame, so mutual aid departments are dispatched. I recently received a telephone call from the president of the Burlington County EMS Chiefs Association to advise me that some agencies have cut back on their out-of-town responses, even to our community. So that may cause an additional burden on townships that currently provide mutual aid to our community. But within the 2026 budget request, we did ask for 4 additional full-time EMTs to allow the department to hire a staffing to staff a second ambulance on a 7-day-week basis. The second ambulance will help address the multiple calls that we receive daily. So hopefully that the additional personnel still will remain in the 2026 budget request. Apparatus. In the 2024 capital budget, the council approved a new ambulance. So finally, after fall of 2024 to now, it finally is getting online in 2026. It takes that long to make an ambulance now. Who would have ever thought? So I just received the specifications and drawings today for the new ambulance that was ordered back in the fall of 2024. We have to meet with the vendor probably on Monday to go over the specifications and drawings to confirm that everything is correct. Once we approve that everything is correct, that will go online and we should have that vehicle within 6 months, so probably by the end of the year. Okay. And my last highlight that I want to go over is back on Friday, April 24th, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. The fire department conducted a departmental training where we had all the staff come in. We conducted some training on ladder operations at the Emergency Services Training Center. The firefighters went through 3 evolutions in the use of power saw cutting, rebar, how to enter a structure utilizing, it's a technique called vent, enter, isolate, and search concept, and roof cutting operations. This training was conducted with no smoke, and then we did it with smoke. And we want to thank Burlington Township Fire Department and Beverly Fire Company number 2 for covering our town while we were at training. So that's what I have.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief Burnett? All right, Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you for the updates, Chief.
Yes.
I have a question regarding the mutual aid. You
Yeah.
mentioned that some of the communities have decided or they had to pull back or
Right.
they're not going to be responding as much. Is Willingboro in return also doing that for the communities that are pulling out of Willingboro? Are we extending mutual aid to them?
So the ones that I've got an email from, we do not. They come to our town more than we ever would get dispatched right to their town. These are town, the one I got was from St. Vincent, but we probably never go to St. Vincent for EMS mutual aid.
I was curious because I know
Yeah.
sometimes the decisions we're making for personnel and even for equipment include the consideration of providing mutual aid to other communities. So I'm
Right.
just curious about how that's working.
Right, so our neighboring towns, we do go to their towns,
And they come to.
and they definitely come to our town, absolutely, yes.
Will you be able to just keep us apprised as
Yes.
that continues on? I'm just curious to see how that's gonna, play out, if other communities are gonna start doing that as well.
Right.
Closer to Willingboro.
Yeah, so the way that we have what we call response grids, and our neighboring towns that are on our response grids have not said anything like that they won't come to our town. It's just that the further ones, because if they're committed, then central dispatches the next town past them to come to our town. But I said that for some reason we are notorious for getting 3 to 4 calls in like 10 minutes, and not just one time, 2 or 3 times a day.
And I was, and also, I mean, I can't direct you to work, but Mr. Harris, I was wondering if Chief could just proactively reach out to those communities that provide services to Willingboro to thank them for what they do and just kind of shore up the relationships as things are continuing to shift in today's climate.
We most absolutely will do that, Deputy Mayor. And one of the things that Chief Burnett and myself are very grateful to this council for is that you approved the funding for the hiring of full-time EMT personnel. Prior to that action, they were all per diem. And
Right.
We invested about $255,000 in salaries, but we are getting back insurance returns for the
That's increase, right,
much
yes.
this year.
Last year, it was close to 900, not million, 900,000. I wish it was 900 million,
Yeah.
900,000, yeah.
So even with the calls that we have not been making, there is still a lot of money that is left on the table in reimbursements, which some of our wiser neighbors have been taking advantage of, because when they answer the calls, then they collect that revenue.
Right.
So even when we were short-staffed and they were willing to come in and spend some time in our house, it wasn't just pure good neighborly, right?
Right.
So
yeah.
we understand. So that is what our hope is as well, that with the additional personnel, we will be able to cover or recoup additional revenues to
Right.
cover their salary expenditures. And I do firmly believe that Chief Burnett's EMT services will be another $1 million department here
Yes.
in Willingboro in 2026.
Great. Thank you,
Thank
Chief. And I just want to say, thank you for all that you and your staff do with the Citizens Fire Academy.
Mhm.
It's such a tremendous program,
Yeah.
an opportunity for our residents to really get acquainted with our fire department. And I'm looking forward to the Junior Fire Academy.
Yes.
I definitely will be promoting it with all the
Yes,
students.
absolutely. And I saw them the other night in their gear, the Citizen Fire Academy, and they were like, "Oh my God, like, this gear is heavy," but they are enjoying it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
And
you.
Deputy Mayor, I can't promise you push-ups.
Last but definitely not least, Mr. Dennis Tunstall, who is in charge of our inspections department. First $1 million department in Willingboro.
Good evening, Council,
Good evening, Mr. Thomas.
Madam Mayor, Madam Deputy Mayor and Council, as well as the Willingboro Township public. I have shared with you some of the numbers pertaining to April and where we are with relationship to our revenues for the quarter. So I'm not going to burden you and read any numbers. What I would like to do is talk to you or share with you some information pertaining to what's going on in our department. The inspection department, as you know, is comprised of both code enforcement as well as UCC, which is the Uniform Construction, zoning, as well as housing. We are currently, code enforcement is heavily into the grass season, as you may have noticed. Grass growth and overgrowth areas and weeds have a compliance date of 3 days for maintenance. That's weather dependent, of course. That landscaping ordinance is 27-10B. Keep in mind that reverse frontages are also the responsibility of the property owners. And when I say reverse frontages, that means the lot, which is in the rear and facing the street, is the property of the individual who owns that lot. And they are responsible for maintaining that lot. Many people are not aware of that, but they are. You're not allowed to plant within 10 feet, and you are not supposed to have any obstructions within the 20-foot barrier. Trash and recycling placement, one of the hot topics of our township. That ordinance is through or kept if outside in the rear yard, inside the rear yard fence area in the case of a townhouse. So those folks living in Rittenhouse and Fairmount Park, technically, based on our ordinance, and I know there's some issues pertaining to the size of the trash cans being able to fit into the fence, they are supposed to be within the inside of that fence. It says also, to that side of the building, not adjacent to a street. So if you live on the corner and you're adjacent to the street, technically your trash can should be inside the fence or unless there shall be by reverse planning or the event shall be kept or stored in such a place that it will not become a nuisance. And what that clearly means is that you must maintain your trash can. You can't allow your trash can to overflow. You can't allow the trash to hit the ground. We are aware of the issue pertaining to Republic and picking up the trash, so we are not currently writing up any trash cans that remain on the street that haven't been picked up. However, you must maintain that trash can if it's in the street. So if you got it overflowing and that trash is on the ground, you have to pick that trash up and you must maintain that trash can. In those situations, we will be asking for compliance and you may receive a notification. So last meeting or a couple of meetings ago, I was asked to look into basketball courts. And after looking carefully into the ordinance, which is 370-13R, and it reads, in accordance with 317-15E, secondary use, no barbecue grills, inflatable amusement devices, play sets, outdoor playhouses, trampolines, or sports apparatus may be placed or erected in the front and side of any lot. So the problem with me looking into basketball courts is this ordinance does not specifically call out basketball courts. It says sports apparatus. So that includes basketball courts. That includes soccer goals or any other sports apparatus. So the only way to adjust this is to obviously make some adjustment to the ordinance to relate to basketball courts in itself. There was some question about whether or not the township wanted to take on the responsibility of determining whether or not these courts were erected properly. And I said then, and I say now again, I don't believe that's something that we want to be involved in or have that as an obligation for anyone in terms of checking to make sure the courts are installed properly. There is obviously a manufacturing requirements and specifics that, or specs, I should say, that should be followed when using that apparatus. One other thing, housing divisions. We have implemented an automated scheduling inspection notification, which will improve our communication with scheduling our applicants. This system basically notifies the applicant when that inspection is going to take place, so there's no guessing, there's no trying to figure it out, and we don't have to make any unnecessary phone calls. They will receive an email pertaining to that inspection date and time. Also, relative to housing, we have training going on for 2 inspectors that have been accepted into the fire inspectors class beginning June the 1st, I believe. This is required that all fire inspectors or all inspectors for residential changes of occupancy are able to test and evaluate the functionality of smoke, carbon monoxide detectors, and portable fire extinguishers compliance. In addition to checking to make sure that the electrical panels are labeled properly. And last but not least, I'd like to report that there are 4 new businesses in town. 621 Beverly Rancocas Road. Number 3B is Inspiring Your Creativity. It's a recreation center. 231 Van Skyver Parkway, Pegasus is a mental health and substance abuse treatment center. 330 Beverly Rancocas is Express Cuts. It's obviously a barbershop and hair salon. And 609 Beverly Rancocas is a virtual reality gaming center. Those 4 businesses are now currently open in Willingboro. If you have any questions, I will be glad to entertain them. If you have any questions pertaining to the numbers that I've given you, please feel free to ask.
Thank you, Mr. Tunstall. Any questions for Mr. Tunstall? Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Tunstall. I was going to ask about the new businesses, so I'm glad you brought those up. I was curious if you could share an update on when, I don't know if you know, when AutoZone is opening on Beverly Rancocas?
I don't have a date for AutoZone, but based on the inspections that have taken place in our department, they should be opening up sometime early June, if I'm not mistaken. They have been working diligently. As you can see, the sign is up now, so we do know what the facility is going to be. I can check on that and find out. I've talked to the manager there a couple of times. He is definitely looking forward to opening up, I believe, in June. I think they're waiting for some of their supplies to come in so they can stock their shelves properly.
Okay. My second question was about the old firehouse. I saw they're digging up a lot of stuff around it and
Parking lot.
gonna be, yes. Any updates on when they've been under construction for some time? Any updates?
Quite some time. That, as you know, is supposed to be a restaurant. We don't have a final date on it opening. They finally kind of regenerated some activity. It's been lying dormant for a while now. As you may or may not know, that resource road behind it actually belongs to that location. So that's going to be part of their parking lot and their entry from the rear. But they are digging up the asphalt, and I can check on that one too. I'll stop by and see how things are going. I haven't been able to catch up with the manager there or the owner of that property, but I see the workers there all the time, and our construction official has done several inspections in the last couple of days.
Okay. And then the convenience store that's at MLK.
Favorite.
Yeah, my favorite. I was wondering, do we know what's going on there? I know they vacated this space.
The one at MLK, no.
Okay.
That store actually is owned by the gentleman who owns a gas station across the street. He owns both of those locations. At one point, he was trying to rent it out as a restaurant. I don't know if that ever was able to get any traction. But right now, it still remains vacant. As I was going to report, I think I had it here somewhere. Well, on your report, it talks about the vacant commercial buildings and residential properties, being residential 168 and commercial 20. That number, 168, is down considerably from where we were several years ago when we were getting close to 1,000, if not more. So there is movement, there is traction. A lot of the houses are being sold and refurbished. And our UCC department is working hard on keeping things moving in the right direction.
Thank you, Mr. Tunstall.
All right, Mr. Tunstall, just a few things. I see in your report, your department has given 620 total violations in the month of April. I know we had talked a little bit about inspectors working on the weekends. Can you talk a little bit about the schedule that you have set up for inspectors, making sure that things are still in place over the weekends?
Certainly. As you are aware, we have one employee working every Saturday from 8 to 4. We kind of work through, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say we work through lunch, but I'm not going to say that. From 8 to 4 every Saturday, and it's working out pretty well. What I can do going forward is to give you a breakdown of what happens on Saturday so that you know what's going on. Saturday's been notorious for a lot of construction activity as well as truck parking and things of that nature. Surprisingly enough, I got an email from the state asking us whether or not we offer any leniency in this town for truckers who are resting and they have to be off the road a number of hours before they can get back on the road. So, we have taken in certain things into consideration when it comes to truck parking. Overnight is not acceptable. Obviously, sometimes they'll pull into a lot and rest for a few hours before they hit the road. A lot of times our code enforcement officers are knocking on the window and we find them in the back sleeping. We try not to disturb those individuals. However, it is not legal for you to park 18-wheelers in any parking lot in this town. So we have to do what we have to do.
Thank you, Mr. Tunstall. Any other questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Tunstall.
Have a good evening. You guys enjoyed a beautiful day today?
Do you want to weigh in?
You just mentioned the trash can. It's up to you.
So we get to the trash.
Oh, yeah.
I'll ask that. All right, Mr. Harris, you can continue.
And just some brief project summaries that are going on still here in the township. Several township capital projects are actively moving forward, including the senior center improvements, the performing arts center closeout work, roadway improvements, drainage repairs, park improvements, and facility upgrades. The senior center revised plans have been approved by council, and the performing arts center change order number 17 is scheduled for tonight's meeting to address 2 electrical items required by the official township code enforcement, so they can go ahead and receive the certificate of occupancy. Phase 1 and Phase 2 work are almost nearly completed. Construction on the senior center remodel is projected to start in August and hopefully be completed in early 2027. The township was awarded an allotment of $550,000 from the Transportation Trust Fund for 1 year 2026, which is going to be used on Shawmont, Shetland, and Sheffield Lanes. There are 3 projects that were submitted on that application. And this funding will support local roadway infrastructure improvements here in Willingboro. The 2026 roadway improvement will be coordinated with Remington Vernick, the township, and PSC&G. A meeting is scheduled for May 11th to discuss the next round of roads, all of which will be roads where PSC&G has performed work. And the project will include the iBank funding application. Park facility and public amenity projects are advancing. The food pantry design is nearly complete. Crystal Lake survey permitting for the parking lot, walkway, and dock coordination is underway, and Mill Creek Park improvements, including restroom facilities for the pickleball courts and Jake's Place, are being coordinated with Green Acre. Several construction and repair items are near completion or moving forward. As reported, the Kennedy track is substantially complete, and will be reopened for public usage tomorrow. We are still reviewing the lighting options that are being reviewed for installation there as well. Pageant Lane and Plumtree Potter Lane emergency storm drain repairs are moving towards construction. I believe they're going to begin on Pageant Lane next or tomorrow, and Plumtree and Potter Lane will begin after the May 19th council meeting. We award that contract, and Lambert Construction will be involved with both. Edge Lane is substantially complete except for a few punch list items. Concrete and sidewalk repair locations have been identified with engineering. Those proposals are due on May 19th. The Tyler Drive speed humps plans are underway or under township review. The Kennedy Center rooftop unit support repairs are ready for a purchasing review with an engineer's estimate of $159,000 for those repairs. Eastgate Lane engineering proposals are under review for the $305,700 local aid funded project. And some notable occurrences: Mill Creek Park, the EV charging stations have been installed. We are just currently waiting on PSC&G to energize the statements before they can be placed into service. The hot water heater replacement at the JFK Center has been completed. That was an item that we did fail on when the state came in and did their surprise inspection. I do want to note the fine work that Ms. Lorraine Spellman has been doing with managing our JFK rental spaces. For the last 2 months, she has brought in $35,817 in revenue compared to $20,025 same period last year, for an increase of $15,792. And I just thank her for her diligence in executing the adopted fee ordinances to recoup some of the revenues that are needed to maintain and those facilities. To Stonehaven Lane, sidewalk repairs have been completed by Ocean Construction at a cost of $11,000. The work included manhole installation and adjustment to final grade excavation for approximately 2.7 cubic yards of concrete. The new sidewalk section was blended into the existing surface and graded to ensure proper drainage. And the Country Club pool is ongoing preparation, ready for opening. It was determined that the pool drain covers must be replaced, which is required every 5 years. And to complete this work, the pool must be fully drained to expose the drain covers. A purchase order has been issued to Mainline Pools, and we are waiting confirmation of service date once the vendor receives the necessary permits. So overall, the township continues to advance multiple infrastructure, facility, park, and emergency repair initiatives while in coordinating funding, permitting, purchasing, and construction schedules. And that is our report for this evening.
All right, thank you, Mr. Harris, and our directors. Thank you, directors, really for coming up to the mic. It's important for the community to see who's at the helm at these departments, and so that they can put a name to a face and just know who you are, make yourself more available and accessible to our residents. So thank you for sharing your reports from your department. The information is much appreciated. Mr. Harris, I did have 2 notes that came to me just really like today. One is about Deer Park. There's some severely cracked sidewalks and basin overgrowth, catch basin overgrowth in Deer Park that I'd like for you to take a look at. And then also during our snow operations this year, there was an easement on Enderley Lane that was dug up accidentally. And I just want you to take a look at that as well. Enderley Lane. Any other questions for Mr. Harris? Councilwoman Farr.
Yes, I just wanted to follow up with the resident that had contacted me, and I did speak to it at the council meeting, Mr. Harris, regarding the sidewalk and how it was damaged because you were putting down new cement. So do we have an update on that?
Oh, Mr. Chapman, sir.
Mr. Chapman's department, DPW, was handling that issue. Mr. Chapman, do you have an update on that?
Good evening, everybody.
Good
How's
evening,
everyone
Mr.
doing?
Chapman.
Alrighty, so sidewalk repair. Yes, we are aware. We just haven't had time to get around to it. We do have an allocation for sidewalk repairs under this year's capital. We're trying to earmark a particular portion of it to try to clear out the backlog. But the sidewalk you're talking about, we are aware. Scheduling wise, we'll try to get to it.
It's not on schedule.
No, we haven't started repairing any sidewalks in-house.
Any sidewalks in that area or?
No, any sidewalk repairs haven't begun in-house by us at all, period, this year.
You have an idea when you start that?
Um,
Like, is it a people thing or a finance type of thing?
I would just say mixture of both. People and scheduling wise, we're having I guess you could say, struggles right now, trying to keep up with our workload in comparison to all of the other things that we're tasked to do. Right now, we are still staffed at, I think, 23 people. 2 people are out right now, not workers' comp, but pre-related injuries. And we're just with call outs and staffing issues, we're just trying to do everything that we can. The majority of our time right now, with all of the scheduling and the picking up of the events of the rental spaces, the majority of our morning is spent setting up. So every morning we dispatch and we have to send a significant portion of the available staff that we have over towards setups. By the time that's over with, it's probably almost closer to lunch break time. And then that's when we really get to start dispatching people to do our assignments. So we are aware of all of the things that's going on. However, we're just stretched to the point right now where we are currently falling behind on some of our responsibilities, such as sidewalk repairs, pothole filling, catch basin maintenance, and all of the above. So I understand. We're trying to get to it. But as of right now, it's just, I guess you could say, a burden that we just haven't been able to handle.
What about the lawn maintenance in the major roads that I've been speaking about? And you
Yes,
say
ma'am.
ordered some material?
Yes, so if you have driven down veterans, they have been methodically working their way down. The exact location that they're at right now, I do not know. The last update I have, they were past JFK. However, we did receive the order of compost that's already at the yard. There has been no applications of herbicide. So the grass is starting, some areas, if you can notice, it's starting to grow back. It will take some time, but we have been mowing it. We have been consistently tending to it to the best we can. So it is growing back slowly but surely, but it's coming. No problem.
Just one other question. I know you mentioned before, with regards to this topic about staffing. So what is a typical number of people you would need where you're at capacity where you'd be able to set out projects for the community of Willingboro? What does that look like as far as people count?
I guess roughly for a community this size, with what we are tasked with doing in conjunction with the setups of facilities, tables, events, barbecues, painting, you name it. Safe to say, I would like that target number to be somewhere around 40 employees.
40.
Yes, because of the amount of grass that we have to do, the amount of, I guess you could say, I just was looking at the stormwater catch basin report from the township owned and the non-township owned. There's several areas that have overgrown vegetation that need attention to it. The one that you just mentioned at Deer Park, I'm well aware of it, already aware of it. It's just, we just do not have the manpower or the time to get there. And we're trying to get there. And we're just mixing. Today, I think we had 3 call outs. We brought the number down to about 18 available people. And then 6 of them had to go do setups all morning for the facility rental. So it's just, at this particular point, we're just stretched thin. We're doing everything we can. I'm filling all the phone calls we can, trash calls, the scheduling of metal, the bulk scheduling, you name it, the calls are coming in. We're trying to get the pool set up with all of the events and things that come on. I believe a lot of our time is more inward facing than it is outward facing. And that's just the nature of the situation that we're in right now.
Mr. Harris, would it be possible to look at maybe some part-time employees for setups in that morning to maybe free up some of our DPW workers?
We have looked at that. We have set up, hired employees to do support. We've had 3 on board, but 2 didn't work out, so we are moving in that direction. Yeah.
If anybody wants to help in the mornings on setups, please contact Mr. Harris. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chapman.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions from council for Mr. Harris? All right, seeing none, we'll go to the review of ordinances and resolutions.
Thank you, Mayor. The items being presented to you this evening for your consideration is an ordinance amending Chapter 350 of the Township Code entitled Towing to update procedures for application and participation in the towing rotation list. This has been something that has been under construction for several, I will say, months now, and I guess it is finally ready to be presented to the governing body for consideration or introduction. Next is an ordinance of Willingboro amending Chapter 252 of the Code of the Township entitled Peace and Good Order to add a new Article 4 entitled Special Events, and is establishing a formal process for the permitting, review, and coordination and regulation of special events within the township, described at activities that could potentially have above 100 persons in participating in outside facilities within the township. Being considered for public hearing and final adoption is ordinance number 2026-8, which is an ordinance of the township adopting an amendment to the 4284 Route 130 Development Plan, which was dated February 2026. Ordinance 2026-13 is the bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements in and by the township of Willingboro in the amount of $3,380,000, appropriating $3,211,000 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof. Ordinance number 2026-14, which is an ordinance of the township amending Chapter 370, Article 17, supplementary regulations of the Code of the Township by creating a new section number 370-94 entitled to Optional Red Lid Additional Refuge Cart Program. And that's specifically related to the red lid carts that are being introduced into the township, setting the fees and the policies and the procedures to execute that ordinance. Resolutions being presented to you this evening is resolution number 2026-101, which is a resolution to read the municipal budget by title. And this will allow us to, this will affirm that the budget has been placed in the local libraries and has been published, and will allow us to read the budget by title. We will not be entertaining resolution number 2026-102, which was a resolution adopting the 2026 municipal budget this evening, as we are required to move forward with some state mandated and some municipality requested amendments. Those amendments will not be ready for introduction until May 19th. So we will have the amendments presented to you before the meeting, and we will have the hearing on the amendments and then possible adoption of the final municipal budget in June. So we can move forward with the budget hearing tonight if you choose to, or we can do it on the 19th, whichever the council desires. Resolution number 2026-103 is a resolution authorizing the approval of vouchers for payment and ratification. Resolution 2026-104 is a resolution authorizing refunds for overpayment of taxes. Resolution 2026-105 is a resolution authorizing the extension of change order number 2 for the contract for cloud-based product solutions and online platforms. This is our contract that we have currently with Granicus, which is scheduled to expire before our new website is implemented. So we were able to extend that contract for a 6-month period just to make sure that we do not run into any hiccups and be without a website before we are fully ready to transition. Resolution number 2026-106 is a resolution authorizing change order number 17 for a contract with J.H. Williams Enterprise relating to the Performing Arts Center. This change order is specifically relating to a few electrical adjustments that need to be made, particularly with emergency lighting and horns and flashing in case there's an emergency within the facility, which are a requirement of our code enforcement office before they would issue the certificate of occupancy. And then resolution number 2026-107 is a resolution authorizing change order number 1 for a contract with Paving Plus for the roadway improvements to Edge Lane. And those are all of the items being presented to you for your consideration this evening.
All right, thank you, Mr. Harris, for that overview. At this time, we'll move forward with our first public comment. This is for agenda items only. Any questions or statements on any of the ordinances or resolutions that were just presented to you? You may come up to the mic and speak. You will have 2 minutes for this public comment. Public comment is now open for agenda items only.
I don't think I need to go up there pretty loud.
Well, for it to be recorded, we need to make sure you speak into the mic.
Okay. Sarah Holly, 9 Tioga Lane,
Good evening, Ms. Hoffman.
almost 50 years. How are you tonight?
Good.
I have a question as it pertains to ordinance B, the ordinance of the township. I want an explanation of peace and good order, and also examples of special events. Thank you. I
Thank
can
you.
get that answer ASAP.
All right.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and Council.
Good evening.
A couple of questions. One was just to find out, I noticed that there was a mention about penalties for the trash pickup. Would that be for 1 day late? That would be my question. Or if it would be if it's a whole week late. So if in case if that is the rule, then would you want for the residents to give a call if the trash pickup is a day late? Second question. About 4 years ago, when we started this trash pickup with automated system, I did bring it to the attention of the DPW about Rittenhouse Park. I'm no longer a resident of Rittenhouse Park, but I did bring this up because I do know that a lot of residents are still getting penalized or getting, well, not penalized yet, but they are getting some type of, what would you call it? A note stating that their trash is not going to the back and behind the fence. What I brought up before was the trash bins are too large for a lot of the fences. So I had asked, I guess 4 years ago, that it be known to the rest of the residents that, that they should order a smaller trash can. It's going to continue to be an issue. And you're going to continue to have residents that are not going to be able to put their trash can behind the fence because the fences are too small to fit the trash cans through. This other question was for the fire department. Maybe a year ago, you were offering free smoke alarms and installation. I would like to know if that's still possible. And if so, where do the residents need to go to see if they can receive a smoke alarm? Those are my three questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mathis. Any other public comment on agenda items only?
Good evening, A Manners, Spindletop Lane.
Good evening.
I just had a question on ordinance 2026-13, more so about the budget down payment, being that I guess we have to seek higher taxes because of the budget already. Is there any reason why we're not doing the minimum 5% amount? And then, in regards to the trash containers and the public works portion of the bond ordinance, is that related to the residence bins with the new contract, or is that just containers overall for the township, public works location? That's all, thank you.
Thank you. All right, seeing no others, public comment is now closed. Mr. Harris, to answer Ms. Holly's question, can you answer the question about peace and good order in that ordinance? What classifies as a special event and just an overview of the ordinance itself?
So the title, Peace and Good Order, that's just the title, but essentially it was designed to bring order to special events here in Willingboro, and I would say establish a level of peace for the residents, hopefully, so these events don't get out of control. Some example of special events may include but are not limited to community festivals, fairs or celebrations, carnivals, circuses or amusement-based events, parades, marches, processions, outdoor concerts, performances or theatrical productions, craft fairs, vendor markets, corporate business promotional events, demonstrations, rallies, or organized public assemblies, fireworks displays or pyrotechnic events, large-scale sporting recreation, fraternals or fitness events, and events conducted on private property that are open to the public and of sufficient size or scope that may require township coordination or public safety services. Those are some of the examples of special events outlined in the ordinance.
Okay, and Ms. Holly, I think additionally, some of it is, it lays out the fees for some of the events if you need permits, and also coordination with other departments that you may have to, as well as any penalties that may be incurred if you don't secure the proper permits. All right, Ms. Mathis had a question about the penalties for late trash pickup. I believe that's a daily penalty, right, Mr. Harris?
If they are 1 day late, they have the ability to cure that, and if they don't cure the collection within the time frame, then they can be assessed a penalty.
Okay, so if your trash is late 2 days and not picked up, then call us.
Yeah, and I would prefer that the residents contact Department of Public Works because they are keeping those records. But if they call my office or the clerk's office, we will refer them or take the information and refer the information accordingly.
All right,
Madam Mayor.
yes.
So just on the topic with Public Works, Mr. Harris, I know I had spoken to you about the calling Public Works. The voicemail still says the gentleman that used to do Mr. Chapman's job. In addition to, when you call that number, it just says push 1 for this person's name, push 2 for this person's name. It does not tell you the title or the job function of that individual. And I've called and it's still that way. So I'm just trying to see, and I know we spoke about this a couple months ago. So how can we get that rectified?
That is in the process of being rectified. We are in the process of revamping our whole phone list. It was a little more extensive than I thought, but we are in the process of correcting it throughout the whole municipality.
Okay, so just for right now, because you just directed the community to call Public Works regarding the trash situation, or if there's a situation, what feature should they push?
what is Miss, it's either Miss Langambino or, right.
Alrighty, that will be extension 1051 for Michelle Boynton or 1107 for Susan Langambina. And then you also have mine as well, 1105. 1105 is a backup default.
1050, say a little slower and then just.
1051, that's Michelle Boynton. 1107 is Susan Langambina. And then 1105 is myself, Bradley Chapman.
Thank you.
All
I
righty.
will ask Mrs. Jackson to highlight that in our communication so the public has that information as well.
Thank you.
All right. Also, there were some statements about the trash cans in Rittenhouse. I know you talked a little bit about that, Mr. Tunstall, about the violations for the trash cans in Rittenhouse. Do we still have the smaller carts available at the yard, for those residents that need smaller carts because they won't fit in the gates in the townhouses?
I don't think we ever had smaller carts.
They were available. So I guess they're not available at this time.
I believe there were, I believe there were recycling carts that were available, and they were distributed in Fairmont, I believe. But the trash, I don't believe ever had smaller size carts.
I remember a note going around or a letter going around to Rittenhouse residents, and at the time of distribution, initial distribution, they can select to have a regular 96-gallon cart, or I think it was a 56-gallon smaller, or a 64-gallon, 60-gallon smaller cart. I wanted to see if those are still available, but maybe we can explore either getting smaller carts. Do we still have to use the same carts with the new trash company, or can residents purchase their own trash cart again?
They can't purchase their own trash cans, but those are our trash cans. So yeah, but if the governing this body, decides to get a smaller cart, is it going to be a smaller cart specifically for Rittenhouse, or will everyone have the opportunity to get smaller carts?
Okay.
So we would have to have that conversation.
Okay, so we'll explore that a little further. And then for Chief Burnett, the smoke alarm installation, is that happening again, or?
Yes, we still, through the American Red Cross, we get smoke detectors donated to us. So we can, all you have to do is go onto the either township website, there's an application there, or go on the fire department website. You can just go online or call the fire department at 609-871-7476 directly, and we can get that set up. But we just won't hand you out one. The Red Cross requires us to install it. Right, so we have to be able to install it. And then also too, I want to make a note that we've received phone calls when people are selling their house for
Smoke alarms.
for rental, right to pass inspection. Red Cross does not allow us to install for that purpose. So because it's only for people that are in need of a smoke detector, we'd be more than happy to install.
Okay. Thank you. All right. There was another question from Ms. Manners about the 5% down payment.
So the 5% down payment for all of our bonding is included as part of our municipal budget. That's part of our requirement, and it is included.
Okay. And then for the trash bin question, that is for resident second carts, not for the initial trash collection, but it's if you need an additional cart, there's a fee, and then to purchase the cart, and then an annual fee for tipping of that cart. Oh, we can't take other questions, but you can come back during regular public comment.
So Mayor, if I may, that's one of the things Ms. Diggs and I were just communicating about. We do need to go forward with the public hearing for the budget this evening,
Oh, okay.
just the public hearing. Ms. Scott, do you have the resolution for?
All right. I think that was all for, items, agenda items. All right, we'll move on to the ordinances. Okay. All right, Ms. Scott will, move for the ordinances for introduction.
May I get a motion to introduce ordinance 2026-15 entitled an ordinance amending chapter 350 of the Township Code entitled towing to update procedures for application and participation in the towing rotation list. Anyone wishing to come forward to comment on this ordinance?
This is just an introduction.
So moved.
Been moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by, Councilwoman McIntosh. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Perone?
Yes.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy?
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield?
Yes.
May I get a motion to introduce ordinance 26-15, an ordinance of the Township of Willingboro, County of Burlington, State of New Jersey, amending chapter 252 of the Code of the Township of Willingboro entitled Peace and Good Order to add a new Article 4 entitled Special Events, establishing a formal process for the permitting, review, coordination, and regulation of special events within the township.
And, Ms. Scott, that's 2026-16.
My apologies, yes, 16.
Do we have a motion?
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman McIntosh, seconded by Councilman Anderson. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Perone?
Yes.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy?
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield?
Yes. We'll move on to the public hearing, for the redevelopment plans.
I'd like to open the public hearing on ordinance 26-8 titled Ordinance of the Township of Willingboro, County of Burlington, New Jersey, adopting an amendment to the 4284 Route 130 redevelopment plan dated February 26. Anyone wishing to come forward to comment on this ordinance, please do so.
All right, good evening, Mr. Colbert. Could you just give a brief overview of the changes that we'll be making for this redevelopment plan?
Good evening. My name is Michael Colbert. I'm the Director of Planning for BRS. I'm the Municipal Planner for Willingboro Township. The Planning Board for Willingboro Township held a public hearing on April 13th regarding this redevelopment plan. At that public hearing, they passed a resolution that's determining that this redevelopment plan, is in conformance with the master plan for the Township of Willingboro and recommended that Willingboro Township adopt the redevelopment plan. As part of that hearing, there was a detailed discussion about Section 5, additional regulations for individual townhome lots. In that Section 5, there's a subclause stating that the redeveloper will be responsible for building side and rear yard fencing for individual townhomes. There was a long discussion at the hearing about how to interpret that clause and whether or not this meant that the developer should be required to install fencing for all lots as part of the development, or whether that fencing should only be required if it's at the discretion of the residents coming in. It was determined that for the planning board, that the preference is that the developer install that fencing for the rear yard of all homes, not just at the request of residents. However, there was a recognition that there may be some complications in the site plan process that could, that the board may wish to reconsider that additional time. The recommendation therefore was that city council clarify township council clarify the clause with a note that the developer will be responsible for building side and rear yard fencing for individual townhomes. However, there should be a waiver should be permitted at the discretion of the planning board in case for additional provisions for that fencing instead, should that be determined to be necessary by the planning board due to site plan design after they've reviewed the site plans. That's the only change that was requested by the planning board. So they recommended that to the Township Council for review. The resolution was not yet memorialized, so this was sent in a letter by the planning board chair to Samantha Savino as the clerk for your consideration tonight.
All right, thank you, Mr. Colbert. Any questions for Mr. Colbert? All right, seeing none. And any members of the public wish to comment on this redevelopment plan, this ordinance? All right, council, any questions? Oh, come on up, Ms. Mathis.
I'm not aware of this, something about a townhouse, development. Could you share some additional information on what that is and where it's going to be? I just apologize for not being aware that this was happening, and I'm not sure if everyone here is aware. So would that be okay for someone to be able to share that information? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mathis. All right. So a question for council in this, do we need to close the public hearing? Yeah. All right, if there's no other comments, then the public hearing for this is now closed.
Seeing no other public comment, I'd like to close the public comment for ordinance and get a motion to finally adopt.
Any motion?
So moved.
You're gonna have discussion?
Yes.
Okay. So
We have to
motion is
move it.
not to adopt, it's just for discussion.
Oh, for discussion.
You said adopt, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, even if we're moving to adopt, it's still a motion.
So yes,
and-
second.
Okay, so it's moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Councilwoman Perone. Discussion. All right, the project that this redevelopment plan is referring to is the new development or the forthcoming development at the Burlington County Times property. There are two separate development sites on that. In the front half, there will be 60 affordable units to satisfy our affordable housing need. And then also in back of that development, there will be 128 townhouses. Some of those will also be affordable as new development behind the affordable housing development that will be in the front side closer to 130. So that is a proposed, we've been working on this.
For purchase too, there'll be some of them will be for
Yes,
purchase.
the townhouses are for purchase. Some of them will be affordable. They'll be 2 and 3 story townhouse. All right, so for consideration of the council, there was a lengthy discussion on fencing at the planning board. The request from the developer was that they requested that they not be mandated to do fencing. I think to coincide and go with the rest of the townhome development that we have in Willingboro, the planning board really suggested that we do mandate that fencing because we have it in Rittenhouse as well as in Fairmount currently. But it's up to us if we want to keep that in, to mandate the fencing. And then the other suggestion was to include an entrance in the back. And I would say, since we've had a discussion about the trash carts, entrances in the back must be able to accommodate a 96-gallon trash cart so that we don't have that issue moving forward. Yeah, I agree with what the planning board suggests. I think we should mandate.
Okay, any other comments on that? All right, Deputy Mayor Worthy?
Yes, no, I do agree with the fencing, and don't think that it should be at the discretion of the homeowner, but that the developer do fencing for all of the property, to include the access for the 96-gallon trash can.
Okay. All right, any other comments? All right, seeing none, then we will make that inclusion to the redevelopment plan. I don't think that's just a substantive change. All right.
Did you want to include the design? Sorry. Did you want to include the potential for a design waiver or not at all?
Potential for a design waiver? I think we need to see what it's gonna look like. So you don't have the design already? You've not seen that at the meeting?
We've seen some preliminary, but we haven't received the site plans yet.
Okay.
This is just our redevelopment plan for it. The developer still has to provide the site plan.
I think that's important. So I was under the impression that it was already something that you've seen and it was needed. There was a reason why the board suggested they wanted this. I think we should include that to see what it's gonna really look like.
Well, if we add the waiver, then they have the potential of not building fences. It will be, it would have to be, the waiver would have to be approved by the planning board, but they could possibly not have to build the rear fencing for the townhomes. If we include it, just outright, then they would have to build the fencing to the specifications.
No, I understand that. I just mean like I'm sorry, sir. Mr. Michael, you're saying that you're going to provide graphics of what this will look like, some sort of.
I'm not doing that at all.
Not you
no.
yourself.
No.
So what was your question?
So the question is for the planning, is whether not the planning board should have the ability to grant a waiver to the fencing requirement as part of a site plan application. So if then that's up at your discretion. So you can provide an option for planning board to provide that waiver, to grant that waiver or not. If the planning board is not able to grant that waiver, then the fencing is required.
And then the fence is not required.
Th-
If you can't get
no.
the waiver, then it won't be required.
If you can't get a waiver, then the fencing is required.
Is required. And so we're
Correct.
voting to get the waiver so that
You're voting to decide whether or not the planning board should be allowed to grant that waiver.
okay.
So the planning board nobody has seen a design on this
But it
fencing or
will-
what it's gonna look like.
Later, that will come down the road. Okay.
That'll come through the site plan process.
Just for the waiver. I got you now. Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Could you share more a little bit more in terms of why it would be advantageous to grant the planning board access to be, approval to be able to do the waiver? Like, are there some mitigating circumstances?
So there were concerns at the planning board hearing at some parts of the property about access to the property from the rear yard, about whether access would be accessible to walkways and how that would work with different walkways from the back. There was also questions about accessibility to certain properties due to proximity to the creek, and the planning board was concerned about potentially seeing that. There was also concerns from the developer about just the amount of space that was going to be in the back for certain properties, for whether they were going to be enclosed. So the idea for a waiver is that planning board would then have the option to look at the actual site plan design, and if the developer has a genuine reason to say that this is just not going to work here, then the planning board would be able to grant that waiver.
Okay, no, understood. Thank you. And I think because they haven't broken ground and they're still developing plans, then they can make the responsible decisions along the way instead of us creating a waiver process. But understood.
No, so if there's no waiver process, then they would have to go for a variance for planning board, as opposed to being able to grant a waiver. It's a higher burden on them.
Understood.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
All right. Any other discussion thoughts? All right, do we want to include the waiver option or not include the waiver option? All right.
I think they need it. I mean, if they need, honestly, the question is a little challenging because Mr. Michael is stating that we give them the waiver, then if they need it, then they'll start developing what it looks like and some of the challenges that they are receiving could possibly be a challenge. They'll be able to, at that time, make an intelligent decision on whether or not they want the fence. Without the waiver, then they have to go through a higher level or variance to even move forward to even establish that idea.
To not
To
put the
not put the,
fence.
to not put the.
So, I mean, my recommendation would be that we don't allow the waiver process. Um, I, I just think to keep our community cohesive with the requirements, I think that fencing is necessary with the access in the back. The waiver, although it would allow, the planning board discretion on whether or not to grant the waiver, but it could potentially allow the developer to not build the fence at all. And then we have a bunch of backyards that are just open, and then people are calling the township, oh, my neighbor's dog keeps pooping on my back lawn.
Well, what about if we require that they come back with a rendering and then we make the final call, as opposed to blocking the idea, giving them the opportunity to work with the.
It's gonna take a little bit for them to bring the site plans. This is what we're requiring as a township.
Oh, I got
If they
it.
don't wanna meet this, if they don't wanna meet the requirement, they can still have the option to not build it. They would just have to apply for a variance.
I understand that. I was just saying that with regards to the waiver aspect, which is less hoops, I guess, to jump through. And it allows them to conduct business, meaning the planning board and the professionals that are there. Um, this way, we're not blocking them. But however, I understand the concern that if they make a decision because we gave them the waiver and they decided to waive it, and now it looks like what it looks like, I'm saying to also add, they need to come back to us if they, in the event that they want to not build the fence or whatever the case is, build the fence, not build a fence, but then we'll have, we don't have any information from the builders.
But that would be in the realm of the planning board. It wouldn't be up to council to decide.
That's what I'm saying. So because if we gave them the waiver, what about adding that amendment to bringing it back to us is for a second confirmation that the waiver can be used or something like that? I'm kind of making it up, but something where. Mhm.
I don't know in the planning process
So-
if that's permissible.
So under municipal land use law, it's on the planning board to make decisions about whether or not a site plan can be approved or not. It doesn't go to city council, to town council. So it wouldn't be a normal process to have that review. The idea is that the municipality is determining the zoning guidelines, and then it's on the planning board to make sure that those zoning guidelines are being followed. And that's how you have a fair process.
That's the waiver, the zoning guidelines.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, W. Mayor Worthy.
Thank you. And I just wanted to add to the conversation that the developer is likely to not want to build the fences because of the cost. It's more money. So there probably would be more or less considerations of the fence in the whole design process because they don't really want to do it. And then we create a waiver. So now we've kind of created a loophole in the whole process.
Yeah, that makes
So that's my concern.
I agree.
All right.
And then Dr. Worthy's point, they're starting from scratch. So now is the time to implement whatever they need for the fences now, as opposed to starting to build or breaking ground. And, now it's like, oh, well, this corner lot, you can't put a fence here. They create, that's easy
So-
to create.
I do want to make clear that there is no breaking ground whatsoever until they go through the site plan process and get an approval by the planning board. Whether or not there's a fencing or not, still has to go through a planning board approval and they're still under municipal control. It's just a question of how much discretion you want to give the planning board on this issue.
Thank you.
All right. So are we in agreement that we'd like to maintain the fencing requirement and add the access to accommodate the 36 or 96 gallon trash receptacle?
Yes.
All right. So with those amendments, Madam Deputy Clerk, we can move to roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes. You can continue.
I'd like to open up the public hearing for ordinance 2026-13, a bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements in and by the Township of Willingboro and the County of Burlington, New Jersey, appropriating $3,380,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $3,211,000 bonds of notes of the township to finance part of the cost thereof. Anyone wishing to come forward on this ordinance, please do so.
All right,
Okay.
seeing none, this public hearing is now closed. Madam
Okay.
Clerk?
Can I get a motion to finally adopt ordinance 2026-13?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman McIntosh, seconded by Councilman Anderson. Roll call?
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
I'd like to open up the public hearing for ordinance 2026-14 titled an ordinance of the Township Council of Township of Willingboro, County of Burlington, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 370, Article 17, supplementary regulations of the Code of the Township of Willingboro by creating a new section 370-94 entitled Optional Red Lid Additional Refuse Card Program. Anyone wishing to come forward to comment on this ordinance, please do so.
All right, this public hearing is now open on the additional trash cart program. All right, seeing none, public hearing is now closed.
Can I get a motion to finally adopt ordinance 2026-14?
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Discussion.
The reuse,
Councilwoman Perone.
thank you, the reuse cart program,
Refuse.
I refuse, I'm sorry, Lord, I read it wrong. Okay, so this is regarding,
The second trash cart.
okay, and so we purchased, and I have questions regarding it because I know that when we first started this the program with the all automated trash pickup, people purchased trash bins. So they're with the new contract, I understand it's a different company. Will they be allowed to continue using those trash bins? And within the contract, is there sufficient agreements in place where if a person has two trash bins, it's not an additional cost? Because the reason why we had started the idea from my memory of when we started selling the additional bins because it wasn't a part of the contractual agreement to have two bins. So the cost was offset to the resident. Okay, if you need one, we made other arrangements with the company to get the extra bin. But now that we have a new company, what's the deal with the other second bin? Like, is that free? Is it part of our agreement that they'll pick up both trash bins, or is it still at the cost of the community?
The agreement is that they will collect both trash bins. Residents who currently purchased the $75 bin with the original distribution are exempt from paying the $75 placement cost. However, they will pay $145 a year in collection expense. And that was calculated by dividing the total fee divided by the number of trash carts that are being put out as possible second carts.
Right, but that was only because the contract, the history of that situation was we did not sign the contract, but they gave out bins. So we were forced into this, and they bought the other company that we initially had. So we were kind of stuck in a situation where we could not go back to the other company because they were purchased by Republic. So we recognized some of the issues was that what was in the contractual agreement was for one trash bin, not for two. So what I'm stating is that now that we have a new contract, why can't that just be a part of it instead of charging an additional, you know what I mean, additional 150? I understand why we did it before because it wasn't a part of the agreement. And so we kind of had meetings with Republic in order to amend and make accommodations for families that needed more than one trash bin. So I'm just trying to see why is it not part of it, of the agreement, where they don't have to pay additional money every year?
Well, the additional money that was paid was absorbed by the township. and what this is, and which collectively is all of the taxpayers. And this is just apportioning that particular part of the contract to those who actually have the second carts.
And Councilwoman Perrone, if I may add a little bit of context. If you remember, we also did the trash survey quite about a bit ago, asking for information from residents on who needs a second trash bin, all of those things. Also, we asked some questions about bulk trash collection in that as well. What we saw was that a bigger issue was bulk collection, right? Having to call and schedule was very cumbersome. The only having it once a month was difficult for some residents and things like that. What we opted to do in the contracts that we reviewed prior to getting to this point, before the contracts even went out to bid, was to include a 5-item bulk trash that can happen anytime without scheduling on your regular trash day. You don't have to schedule. It happens every week. People can put their bulk out. Which would solve that issue, right? There was a smaller population out of the 10,000 homes that we have here in Willingboro. There was only maybe a combination of the 135 or so that we have currently that have second carts. And then there was another 200 on the waiting list.
There was actually just 89.
89
Right.
additional, which we know, but it's a significantly smaller population for the entire 10,000 homes to be shouldering the burden of those people that need additional cards when they don't need additional cards. Sometimes I can go 2 weeks without putting my trash out. I don't need 2 cards. But if I have to pay additional so that 100 people can have an extra cart, I don't think that's fair to me. And that's one of the items that we had discussed before we even put the bid out.
Right, but again, the issue, and I do remember this entire process. The issue is that we had to make they made amendments with us because one, they know that we did not sign the contract. And so they sat with us to try to come up with a resolution and to keep the figures close to where it was. That's when we came up with the idea of purchase a cart and pay additional each year. However, now that we have agreements with a new contract, it should be included. And the reason why people needed 2 bins is because we went from 2-day pickup to 1. So the families that, yes, we used to, the trash used to be picked up twice a week. Then we changed it to the blue and green bins. So we further inconvenienced the community by limiting 1-day pickup, then changing it had to be a special can, a special trash bin, then further charging the community more money. So I figured that would be temporarily until we can get a new contract, which is what we're doing now. What I can't understand is why is that not included? We know that we have quite a number of family residents that are on waiting lists for trash bins that need more than 1 trash pickup or to pick up the same bin, but do it twice a week. It's the same families. So what I'm saying is, why was that not incorporated with this agreement? You know, because for me, that's where I would be in favor of it. One, either it's 2-day pickup, or 2, if they purchased a bin, then it's theirs. They purchased it and not charge them an additional $170, whatever, $50 a year. I think that's not right.
And
Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman, go ahead,
I'm sorry.
Councilman Anderson.
If let me know, Mr. Manch, if I'm correct, but there's also incorporated into that the tipping cost,
Correct.
because because you're dumping more garbage, they're charging
I
us
understand
more.
that. I
So
understand
it's,
that, but
so
we
that's.
charge a lot of
and-
tax. We charge the residents a lot of money in tax. So the one thing we can do is pick up the trash and dump it, tip it over in the dumpster. I know it costs money. I'm not saying it doesn't cost money. What I'm saying is we're in the process of a contractual agreement with the trash. We are here as elected council members to make these decisions. So we've done 3 things, and I'm saying myself as well because I was, even though I was not in agreement. 1, we changed from 2-day pickup to 1 day. Then what do we do? Special trash bins. If it doesn't fit in there, it's not getting picked up. Then, okay, if you want another trash bin, you buy it and you pay us more money. I'm just saying, now that we're with the company, we can make another agreement, include, all I'm saying is the 150 that you're charging each year, They already have, we know that they need 2 bins. We know that they need it because we're only picking up trash once a week. So I don't feel like we're really looking at, with this service that we're supposed to provide to the community, I don't feel like we're really keeping the entire community at large here. I think so I have an issue with this, the way it is right now.
Councilwoman McIntosh.
Just have one correction. The 2 weeks was years ago. That, we didn't change that to one day a week. That was.
No, I know, no.
So that was a long time. So that was incorporated when we.
It was here when I
inherited-
lived here. I mean, I've been here
Right.
over 20 years,
Right.
but
So when we inherited, it was one day a week.
Right.
So we're trying to make it work. The last couple years, I think this is a great deal at this point, because the last couple years, we've been putting out bids, trying to find, the proper accommodation for this town, and it's been hard. And so we have an option now. During the research, during the survey, we did find that the majority of people do not need a second can. That was, that's why they did the survey. And to accommodate 10,000 homes with a second can, it's going to be a lot now, and that's an option, to your point. I agree. But I don't think we have that. Do we have that number? Because that's going to be.
We have a portion, 750, that's the allotment for additional cans, 750. Currently, there's about 375 that are out on the street, being collected, and we have an additional 80 or 89 on the waiting list. Those were the ones Ms. Jackson was referring to about sending them.
that's what I'm saying. The people, they
letter.
need it to be picked.
So we have an additional 400, more or less, of additional cards for residents that choose to or not choose to purchase the additional cards. But there is a cost to the utilization of the second card, and this was part of the discussion. Either the
Look at other municipalities. This is not uncommon right now. The
Right.
other municipalities actually have a criteria by which you can only get another card. So a lot of municipalities do not have double cards at each home. They made the people fill out applications, and I'm talking about Cinnamon. I looked at a couple of different ones just to see how they were accommodating their residents, and every household did not get, and they do charge for another card. So, I mean, I guess it's an option if we weigh the cost. I'm not against what
And-
you're saying, but I do think, we do have to realize that the atmosphere, the environment, the garbage industry has shifted. And I think the council and the administration did a good job trying to figure out what we do need, and, what we do need, and balance the cost. So, I mean, taxes aren't high because we're just spending money any which way. You see the cost. We're going through the budget process right now. You see the actual cost of what things cost. So we're not making, we're not just charging a lot of money for, or, what you said, a lot of money for no reason. It's the
No.
cost of
And
the
Council,
municipality.
and Councilwoman Perron, before you speak again, I just want to clarify that we talked at length about this trash contract before it even went out to bid. We had conferences and executive session, went through the trash contract and what was in it with Mr. Harris, and all of us were okay with that trash contract when it went out to bid. We reviewed it when it came back. Everybody was okay with this. We approved it at the last meeting. We were all good. And now we're at the public hearing and final adoption, and all of these issues are coming up, and I just don't understand where this sudden concern is coming.
Because there have been amendments. There were amendments to the contractual agreement in addition to, again, the initial contract was what it was. We had to live with it because.
But
certain
that
things
was
did
with a
not-
different trash contractor.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
This has
So-
been the same contract. This contract has not been amended.
I do understand that. What I'm saying to you is, we are at the table where we can request what our community needs.
We're no longer
No,
at the
no.
table, Councilwoman Perron.
Listen, here's what I'm saying to you. When we made that agreement to sell the other trash bins and charge the community, whoever needed another one, $150 or whatever it was, it's because we were already in a contract with them. We are not in contract with this company. We're not in contract with them yet. We're trying to make it a final adoption. So therefore, if you want me to vote on this now, that means it's not final. So what I'm saying is, the additional 150 that you're charging the community to waive that or not charge them additional, okay? And if every family does not need 2 bins, then they don't need it. I understand that. Doesn't make sense to give somebody 2 bins if they don't need it. But what I'm saying is we are raising taxes and we're still charging additional to the community for a service that we're supposed to provide.
That
with the
only a small portion of
That's
the
such a
community
small portion.
needs.
That's
And,
like-
and Councilwoman Perron, I just want to be clear on this part. This trash contract, the one that we're viewing, you're absolutely correct, that the one with Republic, we were stuck in, we had to make the decision, right? We've been discussing this trash contract since last year with what we were going to put into the trash contract before we went out to bid.
I know for a
What
fact.
it,
yeah.
what trash contract went out to bid, what we received back, and the bids that we received back. We reviewed all the bids and what was included in them, the
No, we
different options.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we
We
did.
did not.
We
received-
absolutely
we
did,
received
Rebecca,
We
please.
received the lowest bidder of contracts. We received three items, 3 company names, okay? And for me, to be honest with you, we're not in contract with this company. And I'm,
The
what I'm
bid
saying
is already done. We
No.
already awarded the bid at a
So
previous meeting.
why do you need me to vote on the final?
This is
adoption?
an ordinance to approve the,
Final adoption.
a final adoption
Right.
ordinance to approve
if
the second red carpet.
If it's the second red cart program, you see how what I'm saying to you? It's like, so this is not final. If we're asking me to, if you're adding literature to add more information about the final red cart program, I'm not interested.
This is an ordinance. This is not the contract.
I'm not saying
Roll
it's a
call.
contract.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
No.
Councilman Anderson, Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes. We'll go to resolution. Let's do a consent agenda. Are there any items that we need to pull from consent agenda? I know 101 and 102 should be pulled. Are there any other items from the agenda that anyone would like to pull?
Nope. Oh, what about the, excuse me, the performing arts? Did we speak about that already? This is the lighting, but
That's a fire alarm.
fire thing. And we're not talking about that. We don't need to talk about that later. Which is, that's going to.
We can talk about it in executive.
Okay. So you're pulling that one already, is what you're saying?
Right now, we're pulling 101 and 102. We can pull that one if we want
Because you said we're
to
gonna.
discuss, yeah.
So that was
Okay.
all. I don't even.
All right, so we'll pull 101, 102, and 106. So I'd like to propose and ask for a motion for a consent agenda for resolution 2026-103 through 105 and 2026-107.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. I need a motion to approve the same.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Oh, wait, we didn't do roll call. Roll call on the first one. Okay, roll call on the first one.
Okay, so roll call for consent agenda. Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy.
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes,
May I get a motion to approve the same?
we had the motion.
Oh,
We
yes,
just need a
sorry,
roll call.
roll call on the motion to approve. Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
and Mayor Whitfield.
Yes. We'll go to resolution 2026-101.
Resolution
We need a
authorizing,
motion, right?
right, yes.
May I get a motion to discuss resolution 101, a resolution to read the budget by title only?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Discussion, Mr. Harris.
So after you adopt the resolution, then we can go right into the budget hearing if you would like.
Okay, so don't you have to read it by title only first?
Yes, but you're just doing the resolution to approve us reading it by title.
Oh,
And when we go to the introduction, I'll read the budget by title
okay.
or the public hearing.
All right, roll call?
Councilwoman Perrone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Can I get a motion to discuss Resolution 102, a resolution adopting the 2026 municipal budget?
So moved.
We're not going to move that resolution.
No, we need to go into the public hearing for the budget first. Can you retract your motion?
Retracted.
Track the second.
All right, public hearing for the budget.
I'd like to open up public hearing for Resolution 102, the 2026
So this is
municipal budget.
I'm sorry, this is a resolution adopting the 2026 municipal budget as introduced, reflecting total revenues of 54,145,000 and total appropriations of 54,145,000, and the 6-year capital budget as reflected, reflecting $16,423,736. That's the title, yeah.
Okay. All right, and we're not introducing the amendment tonight.
No.
Okay. All right,
So we're going to open the hearing on the introduced budget.
all right. So if anyone has any comments on the introduced budget, you may come to the mic at this time. The public hearing is now open for the introduction of the 2026 municipal budget. All right, seeing none, the public hearing is now closed, and we'll go to roll call, or we need a motion.
We're going to move to table the budget introduction until June, the adoption until June. Yeah.
We just had to do the public hearing.
Yes.
this evening.
So we're going to do the amendments on the 19th, and then we will have the formal adoption probably in June.
Point of order. So I did speak with the clerk earlier, and I did you speak with Mr. Harris about the amendments?
Yes, he said
Okay.
he was going to provide them. They're still working on it.
Okay, so for the community, I did call the clerk and the rest of council earlier. I understand that there have been some amendments made to the budget as it was produced. As you all, the council is aware as well, you refused to allow for Zoom communication. Therefore, when you had your budget discussion amongst yourselves, that was not an opportunity because I was at work at 4 o'clock to participate in the discussion. So it is to my understanding that you're amending some portions of the budget. So what I would like to see is what exactly have you amended to the budget per item and before it gets sent to the state. And then the clerk and I were trying to find out what is the order. So I know you need to send it to the state, the amendments, but is that before we look at it as a council? How does that work? The amendments.
So the amendments which have been recommended either by the state or by the governing body are being prepared and would be presented to you for your consideration and adoption on the 19th. After you adopt the amending resolution, that amending resolution is forwarded to the state of New Jersey for their approval. We have to have a hearing on the amending resolution, and if the amendments are approved, then the budget can be finally adopted. That's
Okay,
the
so you're
process.
saying on the 19th, that's when the council will be able to see what amendments you're referring to?
Before then, but yes,
Before
that's
then,
that's
but
the meeting that you will be presented them with for your consideration.
Okay, and when do you think you will have those amendments to the community? Is it to
Uh,
the community as well? Will they be able to see these amendments?
They're being constructed with our CFO and our auditor, and I trust that they will be probably finished preparing that resolution by the end of this week.
Where will it be posted?
It will be presented to you with your next coming packet or prior to that.
Okay, so we'll discuss it at the council meeting?
Yes.
Yes, we'll discuss it at the council meeting, but also we can discuss, if you have questions about them, you can ask Mr. Harris or anything.
All right, and then will this budget be produced to the community for them to review a draft of this budget that you're speaking of?
The budget has already been introduced and has been available to the public for review.
I meant with the amendments.
amendment.
with the
Yes.
amendments. for the-
Yes,
that
the
would be
amendments have to
posted.
be published, and there will be a public hearing on the amendments, yes.
No. So tonight, we're just introducing it. You're not voting on anything other than to just introduce these figures here. That's
We
what you're
just read the
doing.
resolution by title and had a public hearing on the introduced budget, which was the one without any amendment.
Okay, so what's the purpose of introducing it if it doesn't have any amendments? If we're not going with that one?
Because that's what you do. You introduce your budget, and then the budget gets amended. You already introduced the budget
At the last.
at the last
Right,
meeting.
so, but you're introducing it now without the
This was just a
amendment.
public hearing
We're
to
just-
see if any residents had feedback on the
Oh,
budget
okay.
that was introduced.
Right, it just seems a little bit backwards, because if you made amendments, why would they have feedback on this if they don't see the amendments?
No, this was just on, so the amendments haven't gone to the
Right.
state yet. They haven't been filed yet. So this was an opportunity for the public to provide any additional thoughts, recommendations, amendments, so that if we agree, we can include those with the amendments that we send to the state.
Absolutely.
All right, I think that was all the ones that we have.
So I'm sorry, did I have
Yeah, I
to do
pulled
a,
number 6, but we're gonna we'll have to talk about that when we come back out after executive session.
And we didn't, I
we
don't
have
think
to
we,
do a motion to
yeah,
table?
the table, then.
Yes,
Table,
yes,
to table 102.
yes.
All right.
519? 519? June, introduction of the amended budget 519. No, the adoption. Possible adoption. Because we have to introduce the amended budget now, then we have a public hearing and possible. Don't look up to the mic.
No.
Tabling until the first meeting in June.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So I need a motion to table resolution 2026-102 to the first meeting in June.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone?
Yes.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy?
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield?
Yes. All right, and then resolution 106, we will handle after we come out of executive session. We'll go on to the treasurer's report.
Yes. May I get a motion to approve the treasurer's report as of April 27, 2026?
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone?
Yes.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy?
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield?
Yes.
Minutes?
Yes, you can go on to the minute.
May I get a motion to approve the April 7th special meeting minutes, executive minutes, and regular meeting minutes, and the April 21st regular meeting minutes and executive meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone?
Yes.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy?
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield?
Yes. All right, Madam Clerk, your report.
Good evening. This is our update from the municipal clerk. So I just want to clarify the flyers that the polling mailers that had went out. There was a typographical error that appeared in the recently distributed mailing flyers that went out. I think some people might have received them already. And as the deputy clerk, I take full responsibility for the mistake included in the flyer being shared with the members of the public. While the polling location details themselves are accurate, I understand that any error in an official communication can cause concern, and I regret the oversight. The clerk office has reviewed our internal processes to help prevent similar errors. Just some election reminders. Please take note of the following important dates. The voter registration deadline is next Tuesday, May 12, 2026, and they must be postmarked by that date. As a reminder, you can't guarantee that if you drop them off in the mail, just at the post office, that they will be postmarked. So try to get there as early as possible this week, if possible. Early voting period is from May 26th to May 31st. In our local early location, it will be the Willingboro Library. Vote by mail application deadline is May 26th, and the vote by mail application deadline in person is June 1st by 3 p.m. Primary election day is on June 2nd. And for more voting information, please visit voter.voter.svrsnj.gov. Again, that's voter.svrs.nj.gov. You'll find different information regarding polling locations. If you put in your address, it'll tell you more information if you're registered and more information about where some of the other early voting locations are. Licensing updates for the clerk department. Next month, reminder letters will be going out about the 2026-27 mercantile license, as well as the New Jersey Division of Alcohol Beverage Control renewals. Please note that if you're a new business in town and need information on mercantile requirements, please feel free to visit the clerk's department, or you can email clerks@willingboro.nj.gov. Anyone has applied for the no-knock stickers up through April 30th, they should be receiving their stickers if they have not in the next couple of days. Please remember to place this in an area that's clearly visible to potential solicitors and peddlers. Currently, we have 12 applications, 3 pending, and 9 that are approved. And that is all that I have for the municipal update.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. Also, I just wanted to add a highlight for the residents. As our deputy clerk mentioned, next Tuesday is the voter registration deadline. And as we saw this week and at the end of last week, there have been some major gutting of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. With this being said, it is no longer illegal to have a racist outcome of voting districts. You have to be able to prove the intent was racism, which is kind of wild and crazy, especially in the times that we're in. But it makes it incredibly difficult to be able to fight back against gerrymandering and other voter suppression tactics that we may face in the coming years. I want everyone to be vigilant and to remember that make sure your voter registration is valid. It has your current address. If you had a name change, redo your voter registration. If your address changed, even if it went from apartment B to apartment C, redo your voter registration. If you realize that your name on your identification and your name on your voter registration card do not match exactly, meaning middle initial, middle name, whatever is on them, if they don't match exactly, redo your voter registration. And if you had an issue with your signature verification at the last election, redo your voter registration so that you can update your signature in the system so that you won't have that problem moving forward. This is so important. This is so important. The midterms are going to be very critical to protect our rights, just as American citizens, all different types of rights. And if you don't think that this is ever going to apply to you, I'm telling you right now, you are sadly mistaken, and it is coming for all of us. So please, 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 tell your family, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, make sure everyone has valid voter registration so that we can protect ourselves and make sure we advocate for ourselves in the way that we need to maintain the freedoms that we all enjoy here in the United States of America. And with that being said, I want to go to unfinished business. Councilman Anderson, the golf outing.
I did see Miss Wells here, who's the chairperson for the golf committee. If you can please come to the mic to provide an update. Thank you.
Previous commitment, I apologize for my lateness in attending this meeting. To date, Jesus, I'm sorry, I turned the phone off because they just won't stop calling. Again, I apologize. Monies collected to date is $11,807. We have received donations from the Willingboro branch of Chase Bank, and they are also giving us 4 volunteers for the event. They are very excited to be partnering with us for this event. And I did stress to them that this is the Mayor's Golf Classic for fundraising for our students in Willingboro Township. We are also getting donations from CVS Warehouse. They are donating Gatorade. Foster Military Lodge and Army Chapter number 62 are donating more snacks for the bags for the golfers. We currently have 82 golfers. We are looking for 60 more golfers. We do expect to get those golfers. As we know, with golf, they usually don't pay until the last minute. I did make a contact with the golf course today. He expressed the same sentiment. He's confident that we will get the golfers that we are expecting, and they are very excited to be hosting this event for us.
All right. And the scholarship applications, have those gone out already?
The scholarship application is electronic. If you would like paper copies to go out, we can do that and take it to the schools.
No, where can they access the scholarship link?
I provided a link, a link for them, for the students, but I will get that information to you in an email and also a QR code for that.
Okay. Mr. Harris, if you would just talk to communications about making sure that we publicize those scholarships so that we can get a good number of applicants in. Okay.
And could we also arrange to have the schools announce it during their morning announcements? Is that possible?
It's possible.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd have to talk to the school district about that.
Okay.
All right.
Any
Any other
questions?
questions? The only other thing that I had is more on the technology side. I did get a call today that the link on the post wasn't working properly. So if you could just double check that for the Golf Classic, the registration for the Golf Classic. Okay.
Oh, they did that?
No, but I think it was posted on. Okay, yeah.
They get I'm sorry, you get a link from where? The link should come from us, one of us on the committee. Nuna doesn't. Oh, it's what's on, so maybe their website needs to be updated. Is that what we're saying? Okay, I will reach out to them.
Yeah.
And get that corrected. And
Well, you'll work with Ms. Jackson to make sure that we have the right link so that we can post it.
Yes, I will definitely do that.
All right, great.
Okay,
All right, I think that's all. Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Oh, you have something else, Mr. Anderson? Go ahead.
Yes. Also, under old business, at the last meeting, I discussed the strategic plan that we had put in place. And just to see how effective it was, I did request and get the support of council to have Labor Council, conduct this, I guess, this conversation with the directors and employees. What I failed to request was if it can be independent, if they can do it on their own without administration. This way, there's no, I guess, compromise. People don't feel uncomfortable with whatever conversations they may have, as well as if I can be provided a time frame in which this is to take place.
Okay, so we'll get that update.
Okay. And then I got one more.
Okay. Go ahead.
I also asked about the vehicle policy to find out who had vehicles, who didn't, because there was a concern that the director of Public Works didn't have a vehicle during the snowstorm and so forth. But since then, a vehicle has been provided to him. So along with the policy, I did notice what I'm looking for is to see what other directors have vehicles, who don't, the reasons why they don't have them. In addition to the policy, I saw where when it comes to council, we had to get authorization and had to be approved. So I just want us to just take a look at that policy to see if it needs to be amended in any form, in any fashion. But just the way that was written, it just had me question some of the things about the policy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Councilman Anderson. right. We'll move on to new business or the Divine Nine bench. Someone has that?
So Alpha Phi Alpha has submitted an application to Alpha Phi Alpha.
That one is already in. That one's already in. Delta Sigma Theta, maybe Delta.
Okay, I will apologize because I received an email communication from them today requesting to, but I received a communication asking to install a bench at Mill Creek and at Broydell Park. So,
Alpha Phi Alpha already has a bench at Mill Creek.
correct. But I received an email communication today from them requesting to install a bench there and at Broydell Park. So when I was looking through my email, okay, Delta,
Sigma Theta.
okay.
Go ahead. Oh, Ms. J from Delta Sigma Theta, if you want to come up and if you have a presentation.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Deputy Mayor. Good evening, Council. We did, Delta Sigma, I'm the chairperson for this bench committee. We did submit a packet. We were told that we were supposed to submit a letter of interest of our participation. We provided an invoice with the price of the bench, and we provided an estimated day of arrival of when it's supposed to come to Willingboro. So I was just here in case council had any questions. Oh, I'm sorry. And we also provided language. So we're looking to have installed 3 10-by-10 plaques. And the language on the plaques was submitted in advance for council's perusal. Do you have any questions for me?
Madam Mayor, we needed to vote.
Okay. All right, has everyone reviewed the materials? Are you ready to vote on the approval of the installation of the Delta Sigma Theta bench? Ready. All right. All right, thank you, Ms. J. All right, I need a motion to approve the installation of the park bench at Mill Creek Park for Delta Sigma Theta sorority. Moved.
Second.
All right, moved by Councilwoman Perone, seconded by Councilman Anderson. Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh, Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes. All right, and at this time, we'll move to general public comment. This public comment is for general items. You'll have 4 minutes to speak. And if we need to contact you after the meeting to provide you additional information, there are comment cards in the back that should be handed to Mr. Donald St. Hilaire in the front row or to our deputy clerk. Public comment is now open.
Good evening.
Evening. Can you state your name, please?
Oh, Jacqueline Ruffin, 60 Pageant Lane.
Thank you.
Okay. Mayor Whitfield, Deputy Mayor Worthy. This is my first time here. We just moved a couple of months ago. I know I missed part of the chance to be able to talk about certain things, but I just want to make these 3 statements. Number one, I think the sewer problem in Willingboro is a problem. My family had to address it, but I think it's something that was signed off and there was still a problem and they should not have signed off on it. That's number one. Number two, the communication is not the best. Everyone's very cordial, but you just can't get to the right person that you need to talk to. Mr. Chapman, Mr. Tunstall has been a blessing. Mr. Chapman has been a real blessing. I think he need a raise, but he has been very helpful because now I have a sinkhole by my storm drain on the street. And he helped me with MUA, the water company, and then it ended up, I don't know where it is now. But these things are difficult for me because I feel like you may have the departments, but it would be good if the person knew I'm in Pennypacker, who the council person is for Pennypacker. So that person could say, Mrs. Ruffin, you need to call such and such and such. Because by the time you go through the list, by the time you talk to some gracious people, I don't get any answers. Well, he has been helpful because he told me what to do, but it's just a little messy. And if those things can be considered, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ruffin. Any other public comment?
Okay. Tony Mathis, 26 Medford Lane. Couple of questions. One is about the staffing for the DPW. The last meeting, Councilman Anderson had mentioned that there used to be 40-something employees for DPW. Now we're down to 23. It's been a number of times when Mr. Chapman has come up to explain and apologize for not having sufficient staff. Why is it not in the budget and is there a way to, I think we've talked about this somewhat, but I'm still a little confused. A way to increase the amount of staff by, I guess you're going to have to increase the budget to allow for there to be, he said he needed at least 20 additional staff members. Because we keep hearing, as residents, we keep hearing that there's not enough staff to go around and do all the repairs. So that's a concern. I hope that that's something that we can maybe rectify. What are the arrangements that are going to be made for the seniors to the new polling places? That has been a concern because a lot of the election now polls are going to be at JFK. I just envision there being a bottleneck. How are we going, has there been any type of plans logistically to make sure that folks who are handicapped, those that used to vote at Stewart, they would sometimes just take their mobile carts and go across the street. Someone will probably now need to transport them over to JFK. I just envision that there's going to be a lot of traffic over there. I did read that there's a reason why you changed it because instead of interrupting the schools, that was the reason why we're going to now have everything at JFK, mainly. But I do see that that would be an issue for seniors. So I just would like for some clarity on that. Enforcing charging homes for a second trash cart. How are you going to do that when you move into a home and there's already 2 trash carts there? And you decide that I'm just going to put out 2 trash carts. How are you going to charge $100 and something for that second trash cart? Just another question that can be answered. With the increase of these 101, I think, additional homes and the apartments that are going to be going up, how are we going to, is that going to be a hardship for the schools? Did we look at that? Do we have any other options? But that's another concern too. We're already overwhelmed, I would say, with being able to supply good education for our children in Willingboro. So now we're going to add additional apartments, townhomes, and with that comes families and children. So I don't know if we have addressed that. So I would just need a clarification on that also. One other question I have, 40 minutes left. I've been noticing that there's a lot of tobacco stores, convenience stores, and in some of these convenience stores, there's tobacco being sold next to candy. And is this a disservice that we're doing to our children? And it seems like we're an overabundance. So is there a stop anywhere to maybe have less of these convenience stores or vaping stores or smoke stores coming into Willingboro? That's my final questions. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Mathis.
Good evening, Ms. Mallory, Hudson Place. And at the last council meeting, I was on the, well, I'm going to call it Zoom for a better word. And there was a motion made by Councilwoman Perone, if I'm not mistaken, to resume the services so that the taxpayers could participate via Zoom. And I was very disappointed that not one of the other council members second the motion so that there could be a vote on this. So, you know, we talk about one Willingboro, but that was not a good representation as far as supporting another council member. Trash pickup. I'm one of the victims of the trash pickup. My trash was supposed to be picked up on Thursday. I called Public Works on Friday morning and I talked to Susan, and she said that the trash would probably be picked up either Friday or Saturday. And if not, I was to call her back. The trash was not picked up. There were trash cans lined up all along Charleston Road, and I live on Hudson Place. And most of us left our trash out because we had no idea when it was going to be picked up. So I called Susan again on Monday morning and reported to her that the trash had not been picked up. It was picked up after 3 o'clock on Monday. I've lived in Willingboro for August the 3rd will be 54 years. And I have never, ever seen such disgrace as far as the trash pickup, the litter around town, and it was just a disaster to drive along Charleston Road and see all of those trash cans filled to the brim, running over, and a robocall to the residents would have been nice to tell us that this is what's going on. We're having a problem. So Susan gave me the number of the supervisor from the trash company. I called him personally, told him that I was a Willingboro resident, and the fact that they are saying that they had 2 trucks or 3 trucks that were broken was suspect to me, because I think they were playing a game of sabotage. And I'm disappointed that the township did not inform the residents that this was what was going on as far as the trash being picked up. The other concern is there's a property across from the Kennedy Center that was once a repair shop. That has been demolished. The fence is laying down. It's full of trash, and something needs to be done about that because it's an eyesore. As far as the comment that was made in reference to individuals who can do better work as far as lawn services, as I said before, I've lived here for almost 54 years, and we've had worse things said about different things in this town. We've had worse things done at council meeting. So I think, again, we need to reevaluate when we're criticizing other people. And this was not a crime, okay? So with
That's your
that-
time, Mrs. Mallory. Thank you.
Okay, I guess I don't get to finish my comment.
That's your time. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. A. Manners, Spindletop Lane. I know I had 2 questions earlier. They weren't answered. I think maybe I didn't ask them properly, but I do see Mrs. Diggs here, so I'll ask her later on those. The charging stations at Mill Creek, is the town receiving some type of credit or rebate to install these? Just trying to understand the validity or the need for these. I know it's been something that I've been seeing everyone posting about. And then the The pools, I'm just curious as to why we didn't go after any grants. There was this big grant, the LRIG grant that we missed out on. The deadline was February 26th. Just curious as to why we didn't go after it for Parks and Recreations, because maybe that could have assisted with the pool repairs. And then on ordinance 2026-13, the question I had about the garbage bins was section 3A.1 for the 106K. So my question wasn't about the red lids. I just wanted to know the list of items in that section, state trash containers. And I just want to know what those containers were related to. Are they the residence containers, or if not, if you could just elaborate on that? Ordinance 2026-13 for the bond, ordinance, section 3A.1, 106K. You guys itemize some of the you list some of the items. So it includes trash containers. I didn't want to list all the other items because I didn't, that wasn't my concern.
Okay,
Mhm.
we'll answer it.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Shirley Dilworth, Newport Lane. First of all, I'd like to say thank you, to the managers, to the department workers, and to the council for all of the good things that you do in Willingboro. And there are a lot of them. I really appreciate that. But lately, I have been very concerned about a lot of the things that's going on around town. I too have been living in Willingboro for 54 years, and I have never seen trash left on the streets, for 5 days. The trash on my street still has not been picked up. And I was informed today by a neighbor that some of the homes in Garfield North had their trash picked up because they called the company. They called the supervisor and complained about that. Now, I am not going to pay all of this money in taxes and have to get on the telephone and call the sanitation company and complain to them about coming out to pick up my trash. And it's been out there for 5 days, the entire street, for 5 days. That's a disgrace. The other thing that I'm concerned about is housing inspection. I was told recently that there are 4 housing inspections for this entire community. There's approximately 9 parks in Willingboro. 54 years ago, there was an inspector for each park. When I spoke to the inspector for our park, I was told that they get around to inspecting the parks occasionally. There are issues on Newport Lane that needs to be dealt with. The trash containers, the recycling containers are still being stored in front of the garages. Now, I know I complained about this the last time I was here at council meeting, which was about a month ago. Nothing has happened. I don't even think notices are being given to these people. If they are being given, they are ignored them. And it's not just on Newport Lane. What about Northampton Drive? As I ride up and down Northampton Drive, people have their trash container, their recycled container hidden behind their automobiles in front of the garage. Okay? The other thing that I'm concerned about is the grassy area between Kentucky Fried Chicken and that corner store. I don't know the name of the corner store, but I know it's on Route 130 North. Okay, the grassy area between those 2 locations, it looks despicable. Okay, paper, plastic bottles, all over the area. Okay, it's hard to believe that they cannot get that area is not clean on a regular basis. It didn't just get like this. It's been like this for quite some time. That bothers me. I'm very concerned about that. And the other thing that I like to say is, I hope before this council,
That's your time, Mr. Ford.
I'm sorry that it is my time, because I do have some things that other things that I'm concerned about. But thank you
Mr.
so
Ford.
much.
Hello, Nahemia Claude, 15 Crestview Court. During the month of May, I want to raise awareness that it is National Haitian Heritage Month across New Jersey, a time to honor the rich history, resilience, and cultural contributions of the Haitian community. Our Haitian flag stands as a powerful symbol of freedom, unity, and independence. My family was born from the world's first country to gain independence. It represents strength, identity, and the enduring spirit of a people who fought for liberty and dignity. A nonprofit that I am proud to be involved in called House of Bread, who empowers the youth on character development. We aid in community service. We provide Creole classes. We built and we continuously fund a school in Haiti, and so much more. We will be hosting a story time on May 16th at the library, which will be featuring Haitian authors and stories that highlight the beauty of our culture. Additionally, on May 30th, pending final approval, we hope to gather for a larger community celebration. More details will be shared soon. So come celebrate and take pride in the legacy that we carry forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Claude. All right, any other public comment? Come on up.
Sarah Holly, Tioga Lane.
Good evening, Ms. Holly.
Couple things before I really start my comments. One, Mr. Chapman should get his 40 other workers so that he can do all the work that he said he couldn't do. So y'all should change your budget and put his workers in there, at least some of his workers anyway, because apparently 18 people not enough to cover this town. That's my first concern. As it relates to the inspectors not working on the weekend, well, we had inspectors working during COVID, so I don't see why we can't have inspectors working on the weekend. My trash was picked up on Friday. Was supposed to be picked up on Friday. It wasn't picked up until Monday. You guys said that the company was going to give you a refund. Do I get a refund as a taxpayer? Who's going to get that refund? Council? Or will I get my refund for the days that my trash wasn't picked up? Okay, now what I really came to say, and I'm glad it wasn't like a whole outpour about the situation that went on. Actually, I was on vacation, but still I heard about it. I'm not here tonight to talk about recalling Councilwoman Perrone. I'm here to talk about fairness. Tonight, it's not about personality. It's about public accountability, ethics, transparency, and trust. In New Jersey, recalls, because that was all over social media, exist because elected officials are expected to serve the people honorably. When confidence is lost, voters have the right to act. All of our council members, in my opinion, have violated one or more of these reasons to be recalled. According to NJSA 19:27A-2, here are the reasons to recall a council. Now, you council people just check off the one that you fall under. Misuse of taxpayers' money, $19,000 for a roof. Ethical scandal or corruption allegation. You had a council member who voted on a contract and 2 years prior to that was on Yep, I guess that's what you should say, commending that company about the good work that that company had received, I guess, for her. Ignoring residents is number 3, like cutting off Zoom so seniors like me can't participate. Repeated absenteeism from duty, not from the meeting, from duties. And let's see, sharp tax increases. Yeah, taxes have gone up. Conflict of interest, nepotism. Yeah, when we have relatives and friends being appointed to paying boards. Criminal charges or convictions. Broken campaign promises. You promise expect more, but we got a lot less. Poor management decision. Management decision as it relates to our trash not being picked up, our taxes being increased, the sidewalks that Councilwoman Perone talked about. There are a couple of other things here. Poor management decision, contract controversy. That's what we heard tonight. There's a couple of other ones that I talked about family members. Oh, utility costs. Our utility costs, even though you say you have nothing to do with the MUA, but you appoint people to the MUA and they make those decisions. I know.
Your time is Holly.
I know,
Thank
very
you.
quick. And where is our,
I'm sorry, that's your,
where is our,
I'm sorry, that's your time.
and
This
where is
evening.
our
I'm sorry, that's your evening. Thank you.
resident tonight? He's not.
I'm sorry, that's your time. Thank
No,
you.
it's always my time,
It is. Thank you.
but I will continue. Where is our reporting? Oh, there you are.
All right.
Pardon me? He's back there now. Oh, he's back.
All right. Mr. Harris, let's start first. All right, let's first talk about the sewer issue on Pageant Lane. I know we're in process of that. We talked a little bit about it tonight. Can you just reiterate what's happening on Pageant?
So that is part of the rehabilitation that I believe that's the one that she's referring to, that is going to begin on tomorrow.
Mhm.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah.
So I believe that's the issue that she's referring to, that we're going to begin working on tomorrow.
All right, perfect. So that sinkhole, yes, we are aware that there are a number of issues in our stormwater and sewer system, and we are working diligently to repair the neglect that has happened over the years to our infrastructure. For the council member for areas, for certain areas, we here in Willingboro, we're under the Faulkner system. So we have 5 council members that are elected by the people at large. So we cover the entire township. Mr. Harris is the executive in the township and handles the day-to-day. So if you have any issues or you can't find the right person, the best place to probably go would be Mr. Harris's office, the township manager's office, or the clerk's office, and they can always help direct you to where you need to go. We had some questions from Ms. Mathis about the staffing in DPW. Can you shed a little light on that?
We have had many conversations regarding staffing in DBW during my tenure here in Willingboro, under the direction of Mr. Bavogel, under the direction of Mr. Marvin Harris. Yeah, I should know that name. And even recently under Mr. Chapman's regime, about the appropriate staffing of DPW. And the number has always come out in the mid-30s range. And it was our intention this year to hire additional individuals to bring the staffing up to the agreed upon numbers. Our plan was to hire 14 individuals at the beginning of this year. But because of situations and things that have occurred with the availability of funding, that had to be amended this year. But we are continuing to put out the ads for hiring for DPW. We have hired several DPW employees and have terminated the services of several DPW employees because of their poor job performance or other things that have happened. Part of Mr. Chapman's issues is the number of employees that call out on a daily basis. He can have up to 10 individuals call out from work because they don't feel like cutting grass today. And that is problematic. But those are things that we need to kind of deal with and handle on the in-house. But it is our plan, and we are still looking to continue to hire and staff DPW more accordingly to enable him to get the work that needs to be done accomplished.
Madam Mayor.
Yes.
So, Mr. Harris, honestly, that response is unacceptable. And to the rest of council as well, because as I said earlier in the meeting, we are here as elected bodies to collect the money and provide a service. And part of the service is maintaining the lawn, where we hire professionals, okay? Pick up the trash, repair the potholes, and the answer is, well, we don't have enough staff because of funding. Then that means things like the Jazz Festival, those type of things that we spent over $200,000 for, how about we put that money into services that we're not providing? You see, so the fact that those numbers are not in this budget, the bodies that we need for DPW, he said he needs at least 40 people. And the response right now was, well, we were going to, but we didn't have enough money. But we're looking at a budget here that we just introduced that's amended, but it's still not amended to make sure we have the bodies in place to complete the service properly, effectively, with the materials that's needed. Is unacceptable. And I feel that with the budgets that we're discussing now, it is not too late to make it right. Make it right. You have the staff here. They're telling you what we need to get the service done. We can't just keep looking at our community and keep charging them more and put the dollar on them and not providing a service.
So you're absolutely correct, Councilwoman Perone, and I do present a budget to the governing body, and you adopt that budget. So if you as the governing body want to make amendments to the budget, then you have the opportunity to do so.
And also, we did discuss this. We have included some funding for additional DPW employees, correct, Mr. Harris?
Correct.
And if I may ask Mr. Chapman a question, I know he's still in the back there. Mr. Chapman, if you could just come up real quick, let's talk about some of the staff real quick, or staffing issues. The mic. Yeah, right in the hot seat, sir.
Hey, I'm all right. Let's do it.
All right, so okay. Before we go on, hold on one second, Mr. Chapman. I'd like to make a motion to extend the meeting to 11 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Perone, seconded by Councilman Anderson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, now we're all good.
All right.
So, Mr. Chapman, just a little bit about the employees at DPW. So you have some in the budget for this year, correct? I believe we have some in the budget for this year.
I didn't see it.
Mistakes, what is our?
It's not.
All right.
I didn't
So,
see people.
well, before we get that, if Mr. Diggs, if you can find that answer, but while we're talking about that, Mr. Chapman, can you just talk about some of the issues that we're having with retaining employees in DPW?
Okay. So I guess at the beginning of my tenure, we kind of changed the standard of Willingboro, more professionalism, more service, I guess you could say resident focused service, higher standard, quality of work and all of that. So in that transition, in that process, we did have a lot of employee, I guess you could say some employees that were longer standing employees in the department that potentially didn't get with the new wave. So we did have some terminations there. We had some terminations from negligent behavior, conduct unbecoming of public employees, things of that nature. So we have had situations where we haven't been able to retain a certain amount of, I guess you could say, quality bodies. I guess the problem is getting more bodies into the building. Now, I don't know what happens behind the scenes with, salary and wages and all of that, but as far as when we get an employee out, I think sometimes when we don't immediately replace that employee, sometimes that money or that employee becomes lost in the abyss, and then we might not be able to fill that position, or it might not be able to be filled at that current time, or whatever the case may be. So as it currently stands, I know that I would like to get some additional employees, but the reality of the situation is if we do staff up the department with the adequate number of employees, we're going to have to also beef up the equipment, the vehicles for those employees to get around and all of that stuff as well. So it is like a double entendre, it's a two-edged sword, but I don't believe it's something that can be fixed overnight, but I do believe it is something that needs like immediate attention, because with us taking on the new development of that's coming, more stormwater infrastructure, more roadways that we're responsible for, more snow plowing that we're responsible for, that whole development with sidewalks. So in Willingboro, we're responsible for sidewalks. So even though it'll be new sidewalks in that development, there's a potential for cracks, damage, whatever the case may be. So it is the growing, I guess you could say, the growing amount of work that we're responsible for is increasing. And that's my concern because of the increase of the amount of work we're responsible for and where we're already falling short. So it's like we're bleeding out and we're just not able to keep up. And that's just my concern.
Madam Mayor,
Go ahead.
Mr. Chapman.
Yes, sir.
During the budget hearings, you identified doing research on a community this size that it would take about 43 employees.
That was based off of a DCA, Department of Community Affairs, study that was performed over a shared service agreement between two communities coming together on how they can potentially staff that community. Yes.
Correct. And right now you're well below that. So the reality of it is you do need manpower.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, we definitely need
Not
power.
in
Yeah.
addition to the additional work.
Yeah.
With the current work that we can't keep up.
Oh,
with,
well, yes, that as well. Yes.
manpower.
Yes.
So based on your conversation, it sounded like you were saying you didn't need manpower.
No. I'm just saying, with the increased amount of work, we do need more, and then what we need now, I mean, yeah,
Increase of work, you
yeah,
still are under.
yes.
Okay.
And it's not in the
Thank you.
budget. I didn't see body.
Have all the positions that were vacated been backfilled?
No. When we had a retirement from one of our supervisors, we had 5 supervisors. We downsized to 4 now, so we only have 4 supervisors. I don't believe that position's being filled. And as far as laborers, yeah, we're just at the number 23 right
Did you
now.
put in
Mr. Harris
laborers
has
requests in your budget?
Yes.
How many?
But we as far as salary and wages, that's something that's not in our control.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find out, did you request,
More more people, yes.
how many people did you request?
The particular number, I guess I can't put a number on that, but through discussions that we had prior to all of this,
14 was the number.
yeah,
that we
14 was the
discussed.
number.
I didn't see it in the book.
I don't know, but yeah, about
Yeah,
the-
that wasn't, that blue book that we received for all of the departments, I did not see new hirees. That's why I'm asking, that's why I'm trying to find out the question, because it wasn't in there.
Well, there was no line new hirees. It's the total salary and wages for the department.
I didn't see an increase. I didn't see where this salary included 14 more people. So that's what I'm saying. So if it's not there, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
why we're here to discuss this now, to just get it right, make it right. So if it's not there, put it in there. This is what we're here to do.
That is a decision that you have every right to make.
So to the council members, are you interested in amending the budget to add 14 more laborers to the department? So this way, Mr. Chapman has sufficient staff to conduct his department of at least 40 people.
Now, I, excuse me, order. I would, just caution, right? Because as we add employees, that also adds pensions, health insurance, and we already have to go up 9 cents because of the increases of pensions and health insurance for the employees that we already have. I understand. I want to give Mr. Chapman all of the resources that he needs.
Right,
I,
but
I
the
think
mayor.
Mr. Chapman is doing a fine job, and I want him to be successful. I want him to have the things that we do, but that he needs.
Right.
But we also have to manage the rest of the community. If we add an additional 14 employees, that will equate to a tax increase for the residents.
You know, if we stop putting so much money into the jazz festival,
can
the
take
performing arts
away-
theater,
we
all
can
of these
cancel
things
the
that we
jazz fest.
spend, we spend so much money on other things. This is what I'm trying to say, instead of the services.
We're talking about. So Councilwoman, and please understand, like I said, we had planned to include 14 additional employees in DPW. But last year, we became subject to a settlement agreement with another union that required us to transfer almost $700,000 of available monies to cover now those employees, which we have not fully recuperated from yet. So it's not as easy as just saying we're going to put in 600,000, because 600,000 really equals 1.2 million if you consider benefits and all the other associated with it. And you wanted to.
I'm not sure, I'm
That's a lot.
I'm
But-
not sure I
but
know.
some of the steps that we have taken to offset some of the burden is we've shifted our some of our maintenance costs. We've gone to outside vendors to maintain the ball fields and cut grass and things like that to kind of soften the blow. And our desire is to rebuild DPW to the point where we don't need to utilize those outside services. But again, it's process.
I just know that
Councilwoman
if we had the
McIntosh.
people, the laborers here, then we wouldn't have to go outside sources. He's understaffed. So if he's staffed properly with the right equipment, then we wouldn't have to hire a third party.
I understand what you're saying. We are having hearings tomorrow, disciplinary hearings, which could result in the termination of 3 DPW employees because of things that happen. So those 3 employees will be replaced, but it's not something that can just happen overnight.
Right, you just post an ad for hire. That's what you do.
We post the ad for hire,
Right,
but
I mean,
you think the
I will say that when I come up here and I guess make these statements of transparency when it comes to staff, it isn't to, I guess, try to make excuses. It's really just to be transparent and let the community understand what we're really up against, because we receive a lot of phone calls and my office gets inundated with phone calls. You're not doing this, you're not doing that. This pothole's been here for a month. This pothole's been here for this. My brush has been sitting here for this long. And I'm trying to communicate to the residents that it's not a lack of mismanagement, poor planning, or whatever the case may be. It literally is a lack of, it's just too much that we just can't get to. We're scheduling it, but we're in the middle of a season right now where we're picking up with pools. So I got employees in the middle of the pool right now, power washing the pool, trying to clean the pool. We got to get the electrical bonding and grounding for that pool. So that's also going on. Replacing the drain covers is going on. We're repairing things at Brodeo Park that break so people can use these facilities. So it's not that we're not trying to get there, but I just don't want the residents to think that is a neglect. It's really not a neglect. It's really just me not having the ability to schedule or put people in the places where they need to be due to what I'm facing.
Councilwoman McIntosh.
There was an increase in the budget for staff. Correct?
Ms. Diggs is going to get the budget figures. I don't know what the total.
Your original ask was 14.
Well, when I originally started in Willingboro, it wasn't necessarily asked. That was the conversation that we had when I first come on, that we was going to onboard an additional 14 people that year, 2000. So I started 2024 into 2024. It was supposed to happen in 25. That didn't happen. I get it. Municipal government, that's all well and good. But there's going to have to be a conscientious effort at some point to start trying to pour into the department if we're going to start providing the level of service that residents expect. because we haven't had any conversation about reduction of services, but we are still have the expectation for a level of service that right now we quite frankly we can't provide. So right now the service delivery is lacking, but it's not lacking from mismanagement or whatever the case may be. It's just lacking from a lack of availability.
Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I know Ms. Diggs is going to go get the numbers because there was a request for additional salary dollars. And I know there's a lot of chatter in the audience about, just, hiring more people, which would be great. At the same time, we're asked to sustain taxes or to keep taxes at bay. Shouts from the audience say that we have increased the taxes, which we have not. But there has been increases to the county tax, and the school district has leveraged additional taxes. As we're having these discussions, just being mindful, tomorrow the school board is having a meeting, and they are discussing what their increase is going to be. As we know, there are multiple portions of what make up our tax bill. So if we already know there's going to be some increases on the municipal part, not saying that we shouldn't add 14 employees. It's just a matter of understanding we can increase the level of service delivery. We can increase the resident experience, but it's going to be at a cost. It's no different than, if you want a nice ribeye, you can go to Steak 48. If you want to go to Applebee's, nothing wrong with Applebee's, but that's not the same kind of steak. And so all we're saying is that it's not.
Don't discriminate on restaurants.
Excuse me?
Don't discriminate on restaurants.
Okay.
You can't talk about business.
No, you're the expert. You would know. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you. I'm
can't
not
talk
gonna do
about
that.
different businesses and which restaurant is better than the other.
Thank you. Point of order.
You're welcome.
Point of order.
Much.
Point of order.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So,
Point of order.
as I was saying, I think it's just important to be mindful that the experience we're going to have as residents, we can have a better experience, but it's gonna come at a cost. And I think we just have to be mindful of that. And we can load it all in and see what the total cost will be, but we don't know yet what the impact of the school district is yet. And I don't think we have numbers from the county either in terms of what that's going to be. So those are just all the pieces coming together. We're looking at Willingboro, just our local tax, but there are other things that are coming that we really have no idea what the impact. It could be, we have no idea.
And the 20% PSE&G cost increase. There are so many costs increasing. And, just overall we're looking at the total budget, right? We also had to substitute some money to get a new fire engine because our fire engine needed to be replaced, our pump engine. I think that's a critical need. DPW is, it's a critical need, but do we place the fire engine over DPW employees? It's a balancing act for the whole thing. So we want Mr. Chapman to have the things that he needs. We just bought a whole bunch of salt, new salt spreaders, another sweeper. We're getting some things. But we also have to balance where we divvy the dollars because there are departments across the municipality that have needs, and we're just trying to balance all of those.
I mean, ultimately, we just need to provide the service for the community, and I just think it's not an acceptable excuse that we just don't have the money to provide the service.
And if your if your proposal is to raise taxes, increase taxes, so that we can provide all of the services and fulfill all of the needs for the departments within the municipality,
I'm just saying, use the taxes for what we're supposed to use it for to just make sure we get our things. I understand we need a fire truck, we need everything. What I'm trying to say is, let's look at the budget and just get it right so when Mr. Chapman is standing here, he has the staff that he needs.
And if you have proposed amendments, you can send them. We had
This is an amendment. Here we go. Here's an amendment.
We had multiple emails go out.
It's not an email, it's a statement.
Asking for amendments prior to this because everyone has already submitted their
It doesn't matter to be combative. You hear the request. You heard the report from DPW. He needs staff. So there's
Thank you,
amendment.
Councilwoman.
Are you going to motion?
Thank
the
you.
amendment?
Thank you for the amendment.
Is the mayor going to motion the amendment?
I'm
You're
not.
So you're not going to motion the amendment. Deputy Mayor wants to speak.
Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Madam Mayor, in terms of amendments, I know that the inquiry went out from the administration requesting any amendments that council members were interested in sending. They could send those amendments. I'm sure the administration is open. If you have amendments, you can just send them.
It's
or
right
just feed
here.
it into
Are
the
you going to second the amendment request?
have to second it. That's what I'm saying. It's
Okay,
all
so
like
so then the next meeting,
recommendations.
it will already be in there. That's what we're saying. We've already
But
talked
you
about
need to
it.
just be specific to what is it that you want the administration.
Mr. Chapman needs 40 people to run his department. So as long as there's whatever the dividend is,
That's our
three people
amendment.
get left over tomorrow, we need to hire a substantial amount of people to make sure he has at least 40 people to run his department. So that needs to be amended in the budget.
So, and you had suggested that we take that money from the justice, some of that money from.
No, what I'm saying is to look at the budget and find where is the most appropriate way to make that happen. That's what I'm saying. Look at the budget, look to see where we can make sure our department is
We have
staffed
all
properly.
been looking at the budget, Councilwoman Pearl. That's why I'm asking, because you're making these sweeping things, and if we don't make it happen, then it's on us, and we don't agree with it. We have been going over this budget for over a month, making recommendations, making changes, putting different things in. And if you have feedback, if your proposal is to give Mr. Chapman 40, a total of 40 employees, then where are we gonna cut that from the budget?
Look at the budget. First of all,
You look at the budget. You look at the budget. We have all been looking at the budget.
Just a moment, just a moment. Remember, you had budget meetings at 4 o'clock. You did not make sure that I was able to
I don't care.
You did not have the Zoom working so I could participate. You did not want to make a second motion so I could participate. So you were sitting there, the 3 or 4 of you together. Okay? So it's not, so you have an amendment right here on the table. On the table to amend it, to find it, so this way this department is staffed so we can provide proper service to the community with the tax dollars that we've already taken.
Mr. Harris, please take that amendment down. What would it cost and what would be the impact of adding a total of 40 employees
And
to Mr. Chapman? Thank you. Moving on.
understaffed is not
Thank you, moving
acceptable. So don't
Understaffed
come
is
back
not
where we
acceptable.
cannot
We
hire
got it,
people.
Councilwoman
You're
Pearl. We
welcome.
got it. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much. All right, moving on. We had some other comments to get to. I'm going to, no, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay,
Chapman.
all right now.
A little bit about the polling places. The polling places, some of those changes happen because there's construction at the schools, not just because we weren't trying to interrupt the school day, which is making the schools unusable for that. So we did have to make accommodations. There are accommodations being made for handicap. I think our police will be helping with traffic, as well as some members or workers at the JFK Center to be assisting residents who may be handicapped to get to and from the building. So we do have some accommodations in place for those. There are a number of other ones, and we still have some information to go over in executive session. So yes, we have contact cards for all of the residents that
I believe everyone
today.
that submitted, I might. All right,
Make sure we have them from Ms. Mathis down to Ms. Holly.
And Mayor, most of the comments from the residents were code enforcement issues, and I will have a thorough conversation with Mr. Tunstall tomorrow regarding some of those outstanding issues.
Okay. And if we can just get some replies back to those residents.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, I'd like to make a motion for executive session. We have a couple items to discuss in executive session. Oh, yeah. Executive session.
May I get a motion to approve resolution authorizing closed executive session in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act for matters of personnel and attorney-client privileges. Contract negotiate. Yes.
Contract negotiation and attorney-client privilege matters. Excuse me, if we could have quiet in the courtroom, we're trying to go into executive.
Yes. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Worthy, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, we are now in executive. We may have a decision of $30. Need the card out. All right, Madam Clerk, we'll come out of executive.
Can I get a motion to come out of executive session?
So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Worthy, seconded by Councilman Anderson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, we are now out of executive. Madam Clerk, let's move on with Resolution 106.
Can I get a motion to discuss Resolution 106, a resolution authorizing change order number 17 for the contract with J.H. William Enterprises for the Performing Arts Center?
So moved. Second.
All right, it's been moved by Councilwoman Perron, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone?
Yes.
Councilman Anderson? Councilwoman McIntosh?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy?
Yes.
And Mayor Whitfield?
Yes. All right, I think that's all the items that we had. You can close us out. Motion to adjourn.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Worthy, seconded by Councilman Anderson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, good night, everyone. Have a good
Okay,
evening.
the time is now 10:46 and the Willingboro Council meeting is officially adjourned.